think it gives a countdown. Oh, no, we're live. It just pops right on, doesn't it?
Like, nope, we're in. We are in.
Yeah, we're going. Hi again. We're going to do this the right way on StreamYard this time. And we have Rebecca behind the magic and Jeremy with me. They're troopers. They're troopers sticking with me. Oh, gosh. I really appreciate you guys being here.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to be anywhere, to be honest with you.
Okay. So, you guys, the go click the comments up at it's the very top button there on the right instead of private chat. The comments is going to be the YouTube chat.
Okay, let's see here.
Okay. All right, cool. So now I don't have to watch this. That's great. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Well, good. Well, let's do it.
Right there. Comments. Yep, there we go.
Do you see what I did? I pushed my hair over to the side.
I like it.
And do you? Because I was going to say, because my head was looking all huge. And
I did too. I did mine too.
Really,
if you didn't notice.
did you? It doesn't look any better.
I know.
Actually. I need to do my hair again because it is starting to.
I was thinking about going corn rolls.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't know.
That could be fun. Little baby braids and shit.
Yeah. Sure, we can do it. Dreads.
Right on. Okay, so there's Sheree. Hi, Sheree. Welcome back.
Hello.
Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. We got this this time. I think it's going to work. I think that was the secret, was that it was yard. So I'm definitely going to have to get a subscription. Okay.
I like subscriptions.
So, hopefully does everybody sound good, random? As long as everybody sounds good. Good. I think that's part of the problem too, is trying to do this on Discord. The volumes are all wonky, but on here it's like you don't have to mess with nothing. Just do it.
Just go.
Yeah, just turn it on and go. Yeah. I do like it here better because being able to see the chat and not having to thank you, random, and not having to watch 3 screens is nice. Or 3 windows. I mean, so okay. Hopefully we get some of those people back. Travis, haven't seen him in forever. And where'd Jamie go? Oh, that was Jamie that left us. Jamie, let me see if I can message him, send him this link to get in. Okay, so what should we chat about? What did you think about? What did you guys think about that Colburn nonsense?
Colburn is being Colburn.
Colburn's being Colburn.
Yeah.
I think he's disingenuous.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
That was what I was thinking when I picked that. I was thinking of Arakoze, and I picked that. Here's something interesting that happened. Right at the end of the live on Foul Play, I figured out who. Well, I shouldn't say anything because I'm not sure if I should say it, but I'll tell you what was said. I won't say who, but there's somebody messaged me and said, hi. And I was like, hi, do I know you from YouTube? And they said, no, I met you a couple of years ago or a few years ago at the rally. And I was like, oh. And then they said, yeah, I was talking to Arakoze and told him that I'm a, what do you say? I'm a repo driver, and I definitely saw Bobby Dassey driving the RAV4, and I was like, really? And so he said, I said, have you told Zellner? And he said he has. And as soon as he started talking with Zellner's investigator, Kirby, he said he started getting death threats. He said, I swear on God, I started getting death threats. I was like, who do you think it is? The cops? And he's like, I don't know. But yeah, that's really weird. That's really weird. And I don't, so this is a completely different person, I think, than anybody we've heard of, possibly. I don't
Really?
know. I think so. It's not the mailman guy, or not mailman, not the newspaper man guy, and not the
So where was
other.
where was he at? Where's the repo guy?
Okay, so he said he was about to go to work. So he said, if you're around tomorrow, you can call me and I'll tell you everything.
Okay.
So I'm going to call tomorrow and find out like the details. And I think it's somebody new. It might not be. I don't know. But it was interesting anyway. And knowing that Zellner knows, I feel like it's okay to say, that there's another person out there that potentially could have seen Bobby, and that he told Zellner about it. And I think that this would have, well, I don't want to guess, but I was kind of gathering or guessing that he told the cops about this a long time ago, and nobody ever did anything. Yeah, nobody ever did anything. They didn't care. Oh, that's right. He said he did tell the cops. The cops told him to keep his mouth shut. That's what he said. Cops told him to keep his mouth shut. So it's interesting. Also, you guys know I was on the phone with Carla, and she was okay with me telling everybody, like giving an update. Where'd she go? Hold on. She's still talking in private chat. This is not Burish. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I guess it could be. Do you know the first name?
I'd have to look it up. I can't remember.
Okay. I hate to say this, but if you say the name, I'll confirm. But I don't know if I should say it. That's okay. It's okay behind the magic. You're welcome to stay there and chat, or come back in here with us if you want to. You just click the thing in Discord to get back in if you want to. Oh yeah. So I was talking to Carla, and she wanted me to let people know, and told me it was okay to share that what I said, and same thing that I told everybody in Foul Play, that the rumor about Chuck and Earl going to Papa Avery and telling him he has to choose between them and Steven is not true. That the family's been getting along better than they ever have, she says. She told me that Earl has been with Papa Avery a lot and taking care of him. Not really taking care of him, because she said nobody takes care of him. But being with him and stuff, making breakfast and stuff like that, that's not taking care of him. But he's been with him up in Crivets and stuff like that.
Is that where he's pretty much staying now?
Yeah, it sounds like he still stays up in Crivets, like five or so days a week, and comes home for 2, like he was before. But
what was the reasoning behind that? Does anybody know?
I think just because Crivets is so amazing. Like the That whole property
Why
up
not
there
just live
is
there?
because of salvage yard, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yes, yes, random pieces. Richard did say something about this on his channel. Um, and that's what I told him. I said, I do remember him talking about this, but I don't know, like, I don't remember what happened with it. So I don't know where it went after that. I just remember him talking about it at the time. And then I
Was
forgot
that
about it.
was that after the rally that you went to, where y'all got the house and everything? Was it that rally?
Yeah, 2019. And you're right. That's the name, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
So it is the same guy. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So okay. So there's not a new person. It's the same person. It's the same person that we've heard of. He's a repo truck or a repo driver or something. So he's got a tow truck, I guess. Let's see. So she said also, Carla said also that Papa Avery's pup died. There was an accident with the puppy and it died. And not I don't think it was a puppy. It was, a young dog. But anyway, that was his buddy, and when the dog died, Papa Avery was pretty upset. And this was just before Christmas, I think a week before Christmas. So that's why he didn't go visit Stephen, because he was upset about that and nothing more. Like, that's it. But anyway, yeah, that's what she wanted me to tell everybody. And she's been talking with Earl. She says everybody's getting along great. She talks to Earl more than she talks to her own dad now.
So does Earl still think that Stephen did it?
Probably, yeah. I mean, Stephen's through his girlfriend apparently on this in this Facebook group is spreading rumors that Chuck and Earl made Papa choose, and that the whole family's fighting and dividing and all kinds of stuff. But apparently that's not true. So Stephen is misinformed or something, as usual, and telling people to speak for him.
Who's his girlfriend now?
Oh God, hold on, I'll tell you. She sent me her name and I don't even remember something. She sent me a screenshot. So here, let me read this message for you real quick. She says, Stephen wants to wish all of his supporters. Wait, I can show this, can't I? I don't remember how to do this. Anyway, it says Stephen wants to wish all his supporters a Merry Christmas and best wishes in the coming year. It's 24 out the door, whatever that means. He also wanted to talk to his supporters about an issue that is really preying on his mind today, because all the bickering and fighting going in between Charles Avery, Earl Avery, Carla Chase, Stephen's father has decided not to visit Stephen anymore because they made him choose between them or Stephen. That's the lie. It's Christmas, and what family does this to their father? Stephen is heartbroken over his father's decision to side with the brothers, the very people who helped to put Stephen away for doing absolutely nothing. So blaming on the brothers again. Stephen is very hurt at this point, and it's the holidays, and that makes it worse. Again, Merry Christmas to all Stephen's supporters. Keep up the good work. Stephen will be speaking to you all real soon. That's a bullshit ass thing to do. Yeah, and the girlfriend, do y'all know what the girlfriend's name is? I forget. She told me, and I can't remember what it is now. I think she said it in the call. I don't think she said it in the message. Anyway, not that it matters. The girlfriend. Somebody just. Oh, hold on. Julie Dean. That's her name. Julie Dean. Yeah. Okay. So, Jamie, understand I have to mess with mine sometimes. Oh, you're trying to get shit figured out. Now my internet's acting weird. Oh, no, Jamie. Crap. Maul would have told them all to fuck off. I think so. So it's not. Oh, no. Sandy and Steven have not been together for a long time. But Sandy's still his friend.
What do you say? What'd you say her name was?
Julie Dean is the current girlfriend. Chuck has been very vocal on Facebook and even said something like the truth will come out. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I haven't seen. I don't like really. I'm not in these Facebook groups, I don't think.
I haven't seen that either, but I'm not in all the groups either.
Yeah. I'm just probably like in the family group and the Brendan group. And I think that's it, because I had no interest in drama or, listening to people fighting back and forth. And I sure as hell didn't want to go on there and get like attacked by guilters every day. So I just left every group except the two main ones that I care about for updates. Yeah, I can't pay me enough to join some of those Facebook groups. I know. Hey, welcome back, Rebecca. Behind the magic.
Trying to
So,
find her on Facebook.
if you find it, I can tell you what she looks like, but I can tell if that's it. But like she was hard to find. I remember who told me that. It was Jinx. Just today, actually. Hold on. Where did she go? There she is. She showed me her picture. Oh, and she gave me a name, but then of course we had this really long conversation about, oh yeah, I should probably tell you guys about this thing that happened to me today. I'm pretty upset about it. Here we go. Julie Dean. Nope, that's not it. Avoid the light. The sun is in sight. Is her Facebook name, I think, or whatever. It's her Facebook link, which I can't open.
Is that her? Is that what her picture looks like?
She's where? She's got dark hair. She looks like she might be Native American, or at least, somewhat. She got long dark hair.
Send me the link.
Okay, I'll try.
There's like 6,000 Julie Deans.
And she's a she's a behavior analyst, apparently.
I think I remember somebody saying something about that.
Which is interesting, I thought. All right, now how the hell do I open this? I can't.
You just send it to me Messenger.
I can't.
You should be able to share.
No, I replied. It's not copying the whole damn thing. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, hopefully this works. I don't know.
There it is.
Okay, so let me tell you something that happened to me today. It was very, very, very upsetting. So I was, you know who Benjamin is, right? And the Defense Diaries.
Yeah.
Okay. I was talking with this guy named Tim something or other.
Yeah, I was asking about that, and I didn't know what the deal was with that.
Yeah. Well, Tim was annoying. He's obviously a guilter. And he just kept arguing with me about the bill planner. And well, I mean, I guess I started. Well, no, he started it because he put a post up. But I saw it didn't have any comments on it, so I commented and corrected him, I guess. But eventually, Benjamin pops in and he tells me something that I didn't want to believe, but I have not verified 100% yet, but I have no doubt that he's probably right. But he said that Teresa was probably out when she got the calls where she said she was driving and she needed to pull over. She was probably driving around somewhere nearby her house, which I saw today. There is like a mobile not very far from her, so she could have gone out to get coffee or breakfast or whatever, whatever, who knows. Ran out to get gas and then got back home. I don't know. But anyway, so she could have been driving out somewhere near her house. Like I've always thought that she was driving, but she was pinging off of her home tower. So she wasn't far from home, but I don't believe that she was at home when she took those calls. So I'm not wrong about that. But the part that I didn't want to let go of was that she had that day planner in her car with her when she went to the Avery property. But he kind of convinced me that, she was back at home after those calls, looking up maps to her appointments and probably printing them off or something too. So maybe she did leave her day planner at home, the page that she printed out and wrote on. Maybe she did leave it at home. It still doesn't change my theory other than it proving that she made it home. So
they're thinking that she made it home after, this is after Avery or before Avery?
no, she took okay. So in the morning before her appointments, before her day started, she was, I guess, out driving around, whatever. She takes a couple of calls, like with Debbie, to meet her up at the studio the next day to pick up her pictures. And then she talks with Steve Speckman and tells him she's not going to be able to make it out to him and that he needs to call Auto Trader to reschedule. And because I guess they had like some kind of some sort of an appointment or something, but he wasn't going to be able to be there when she would be able to be there. So he needed to reschedule anyway. So both of those calls, supposedly she said, I'm driving. Let me pull over and check my schedule. Right. So, needing to check her schedule and pull over. So I always thought, yeah, okay. So she's out, she's driving around nearby her house doing who knows what, running errands, whatever. And she takes those calls, makes those calls, whatever. And then she goes on about her day. But I guess she was, after that, she was back at home printing up or looking up the directions and directions to her appointment.
So
appointments. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, what's in private chat? Like private chat to me?
No, it's to just us that are here. And
oh, okay. So I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that? Did they ever say the timeline of what she was doing, when and where?
No. As far I asked him for that, he doesn't have it. And so that was what got me to message Jinx today. Just check on her, see how she's doing, and also to ask her if she happens to have a timeline, because I need to make a timeline so I can let go of this that she had the day planner in her car with her. If they can, if we can make which we can. It's just somebody has to do it, and I don't know that anybody's done it yet, but it seems easy enough. I guess you just
So
look
I
at
would think
the
that would be
times.
huge win for the defense or for the prosecution, to have that information, like verifiable information for that. And I would think that would be like, why would you not bring forward that evidence if you had it? That's the only thing I'm because they're going on a premise like same thing you are. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't make. I mean, I can see it, but I mean, it makes just as much sense that she didn't. So
Yeah.
if there was proof, that would help them rule out Ryan a lot. As far as
Mm-mm.
no, I'm just saying that would help out some of the stuff that the people who say stuff about the day planner. You would think that Kratz, as much as he loves being, sorry, I'm got 4 screens going on. The as much as he loves the spotlight and loves hearing himself talk, you think that would be a point that he would say, because I mean it's pretty well known. That's what everybody thinks is about the day planner. So I would think that would be a big thing that they would come out and say, no, she was home. I don't. That would help the prosecution tremendously, I would think. And why would you not use that if you had it? So I don't buy it.
I don't
Not
know. I
buying it.
think they were already assuming that
Mm,
that everybody knew that, but Zellner, she gave the impression that um, that the day planner was definitely in the car with her because of well, it was in the car with her when she went and did her appointments. So I never knew that part of it until Zellner said that. But I knew that the day planner was found by Scott and Ryan and used to call Speckman. So I've always thought that the day planner was a big clue. I still do. I even if it was not in the car with her when she went out to the Averys, for example, it still is a big clue as far as I'm concerned, in my
why
opinion.
would you? So here's my thing. The whole thing for a day planner is to know what your appointments are, and
Hmm.
why would you not carry that? That doesn't make any. If that's what you're writing stuff down,
Exactly.
that doesn't make any sense. It makes more sense that it makes more of a plausible sense that she had the day planner.
I thought so too. Yeah.
So, but if I was a guilter, I definitely would. I definitely want to go with that theory. Um, Scott
Well,
gave it to Ryan, is what's been said. Um,
yeah. So Scott supposedly found it, and Ryan is the one that gave it to. Oh shit! Now I can't remember her name. Oh god, the girl that was there. Okay, nope, blank. My brain's blank. I can't.
I know who you're
can't think
talking
of her
about.
name. Yeah, the chick that was there, that was making the calls with them. The one main girl. She gave it to the cops and said that Ryan had given it to her. Right. So she also told the police that Ryan is the one that made the call to someone from that day planner. The only person that was called from that day planner was Steve Speckman that I'm aware of. So
Kelly is what T1 said.
Yeah, Kelly Pitson. Thank you, T1. Hi. Yeah, Kelly Pitson. Thank you. So I'll let go of that. Okay, so maybe the day planner was not in the car with her when she went to the Avery property. that was hard to let go of, because like you said, it didn't make sense. Why would she bother to print it out the night before, write some things on it, and choose to use that rather than her PDA or whatever?
Yeah,
Choose
that
to
doesn't
use
make any
that.
that doesn't make any sense. Like, why write that stuff out and not carry that with you?
Right. Because
Um,
you're not done working for the day and you're probably going to get more calls, right? What if you get a hustle shot,
yeah, I mean that's the whole reason
Mhm.
for having the page of the day planner. So I don't
I would
understand
think.
why would you not have it unless you just forgot it. But then that gives you your yeah. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. Well, I can't argue. We'll see. That's what I used to do. I'm not buying it. Doesn't make any sense. But if it is true, and like I said, I have no reason to doubt that Benjamin's probably right.
Where did Benjamin get
Because,
that information from?
well, I mean, we've had this information that Teresa was looking at maps to get to her appointments and stuff. I just never put it together with times of the calls when she was supposedly, driving.
So we do have actual information that she was looking up maps
After the calls.
after the calls.
Yeah. So if it was before, then that would be different. If it was the other way around, if the calls came last and she was out driving around, I would have thought, yeah, she had it with her. That's what I've always thought. I knew she looked up maps that morning. So if she would have looked up maps and then left and then taken the calls, made the calls, whatever, with the couple of people, had to pull over, then I would have believed that she was still within range of her home, pinging her home tower, but that she had left for the
So
day to work and she was not going to go back home. That would be silly. And so she did have the day planner with her. That's what I've always thought, but apparently that is
what if
not
it was
true.
Ryan that was looking up maps to see which direction she was going?
Mm,
I mean,
I
if
don't
we're gonna go down
know.
rabbit hole, let's go down rabbit hole. I
I
mean,
don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't want to assume shit. I don't want to be like,
but I mean, you got to.
it
So
was
I mean, yet
aliens.
you don't trust the people that you like. You know, if somebody's word becomes questionable, we don't keep giving them validity in any that you just everything's discredited what that person says. So anything that's caught in a lie doesn't become credible in any source of the imagination. So I don't have anything that Ryan touched. I don't have any like as far as like timestamps or anything like that. Like how come he's the one because he knew all the like how else is he gonna know our passwords? He's got to be
Oh,
on the computer bunch.
well, I have no doubt that Ryan is the one that was probably stalking her, calling her.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
I know he was actually. I have no doubt that it was him that, like, her coworker Tom Pierce was talking about. I know that he was
How come Jack
doing
join
some.
join us?
Hey, Jax, that's okay. We had some technical difficulties, and I had a long call with Carla, so we haven't been on here very long. And are we exploring Ryan tonight? I don't know. We're just talking about random stuff, and right now it happens to be Ryan, I guess. Or well, it's not really Ryan; it's more day planner. Because I learned something today that I didn't know before, and I had to accept that I might have been wrong
I want
to a guilter,
see if
and that was hard.
see if
Hey,
J-Jax
Travis.
will come on with us because I want to hear his thoughts on that.
Yeah, Jax. The link is in Discord if you wanna join us. That would be amazing. But
I would
yeah,
love to hear the talk to the man, the myth, and the legend that I've been listening to for so long. So
that would be nice. Sweet, he's coming.
sweet.
Put my link in chat. Oh, yeah. Okay, good idea. Nope, that's not it.
Tell me again why Ryan was at Teresa's the night before. That one I don't remember.
The Sunday before. He was at her house
Stalking.
Sunday. He was at her house the night before. He was supposedly dropping off something for Scott. Now, what that was or what time that was is a mystery.
Day planner.
No, she didn't print it out till 10:23, I think, on Sunday night
Where'd you print it out at?
off her computer. She printed it out at home.
So that would prove to me even more that she had it with her. Because why print out something for your day? I'm not buying it.
The night before.
Yeah, not before.
Yeah.
That would make no sense at all to me. And I would also think that that's a huge win for the prosecution. To say that, hey, well, that would shut some people up. I'm not buying it.
But what, 11 p.m. ish, because she was out at her granddad's birthday party. Yeah, we don't know what time. We don't know what time because Ryan couldn't remember if it was day or night. So we don't know, which is ridiculous. I'm assuming it was probably late. It was probably at night. Yeah, after she had done all the things she was doing and was at home, I guess she was sitting on her computer or at her computer, and Ryan came to drop something off for Scott, and he saw her, and they talked about Halloween parties, supposedly. But can you imagine having to say, okay, you're right, to a guilter?
Well, I mean, they're not. I mean, there's no factual information. Like, we're not even talking.
What's that? Sorry.
There's no factual information that she left her day like that doesn't. That's the whole reason you have a day planner. So.
Well, no. Okay. That's the thing. It's not a fact that she left it there, but it's not a fact that she had it with her in the car either.
I'll buy that.
That's what I had to give up on, because I thought, nope, it's fact she had it with her. Why else would she be answering calls and saying, I got to pull over? She's not lying to these people, or they're not lying now. They don't know each other. They're not lying now. So I think it's pretty well a fact that she had it in her car with her. She did have it in her car with her at some point, but
when was the last phone call that she took that was in the day planner?
See, I don't know. I don't know. See, that's the thing. I need a timeline, but I know that
I would think that
timeline can be made.
If that's one of Zellner, if Zellner, I mean, she's got PIs that are working for her. If that was a big theory thing for her, like that would have been.
It's not.
That would have been crossed off right away.
It's not. She's the one saying that Teresa had it with her. And
that's what I'm saying. So I mean, like, I would firmly believe that her investigators over Ken Kratz, Jamie. So it's. I encourage everyone. What's the name of that thing? So it happened here, and it is amazing because this fits the narrative of Netflix.
I don't think Mystic Jinx has this. That's why I messaged her today was to ask her specifically, did she have a timeline for this? She did give me a whole bunch of screenshots and links to documents. So if I think I might be able to make a timeline. I just haven't done it yet. But yeah, a timeline can be made. It's not like it's going to be hard or anything. It's just a matter of looking up this and looking up that and putting the timeline together to see, where the times line up. I just haven't done it, and I'm not sure if anybody has.
So
Beyond the Magic is funny.
Jamie, to prove your point, if on I'll see if I can put a link up in the description here. But Netflix has a show. It's a series. I think it's a four-part series called Trial by Media. And if you watch the King Richard, it was Richard Scrusty with Health Source, or Health South, not Health Source, Health South CEO. And if you watch the attorneys that were on there, they showed it exactly. Like I don't have to prove facts. All I have to do is win the jury.
Mhm.
And it's the biggest smoozer wins. And so, but watch that. I watched it just because Health South was near me, and I knew some connection with that, and I watched it because of that. But it's a very, like, it was very, it was very eye opening and I know this about lawyers, but he was saying that I don't have to prove anything right or wrong. All I have to do is just, and that's what they did. They smoothed the feds or the prosecutors in it, and they basically made them out to be the feds to be this, big scary monster, and which they probably are. But I mean, they just sold themselves just good old boys, and won the jury over. In fact, he got sentenced, or he got charged again, and they wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. The lawyers, because they lucked out the first time. But yeah, that's a great. I think it's just an hour long. I think King Richard on Trial by Media on Netflix was pretty cool. That reminded me so much of.
Yeah. I love that you could do that. Post people's. Yes, you're right, T. It did have handwritten notes that she wrote on the 31st that morning. And then let's see, he had another question. Why would KZ claim these facts on Ryan and the day planner page, then change your direction to Bobby? What do you guys think?
I have a theory for that.
Me too, but I'll let you guys go.
Okay, so I think that she already thinks. Sure, I thought Ryan. So my theory is Ryan is the ones that is this person did it. But Ryan was connected through his dad to the AG's office, and who knows who else. I'm sure it's Calumet County. And I think that all she has to do is show somebody could possibly be the killer besides Bobby. It doesn't have to be who, but I think that's the reason why all of her emotions and everything got shot down before, was that she was going after the suspect that still had fingers in the clout of the political injustice going on. She's smart, so she had to turn her attention to Bobby, and Bobby may be the person. I doubt it, but it doesn't. Same reason why I don't think it's Bobby is the same reason I don't think it's, or same reason I don't think it's Steven is same reason I don't think it's Bobby. Like, the only thing that would change with that would be is if Bobby killed her on Cuss Road and just left her there. They found her and then set up everything there, but you still have a vehicle that's in the area for a couple days, and people have already put flyers out. So I firmly think she made it home, is what I think. I think her cell phone died. I think she made it home. But I think that's the reason why that, a viable Denny suspect. And
that's what I think. But
and I think that there's too much political clout behind Ryan and Ryan's family with the AGs, because I think the AG that was there, isn't her son now the AG?
Whose son?
The Attorney General in Wisconsin.
Well, she died.
Yeah, but her son is
her son. Yes.
Yes, her son's it's
still
the same people in power. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
No, Ryan didn't lawyer up. They never looked at him.
Not that I'm aware of, but if he did, either way, I think
I firmly don't. I don't
I
think he
think
lawyered up
Jamie.
at all, because if that's the case, if you lawyer up, they're not going to let you 400 miles anywhere close to the crime scene. They were, hugging him and, basically just, I mean, I think he wore a badge for a little while, junior deputy, ranger, whatever badge,
Oh,
practically. So,
hey J Jax, sorry about that.
Sorry, no problem.
I got distracted.
StreamYard's giving me a fed. It still wouldn't let me log in. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, your
I just-
picture's gone too.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me log in.
It did that to me when I was joining y'all's. I was like, what is going on here? It's
I don't
weird.
know. I
so
tried like 5 times. Anyway,
J Jack, what is your take on the whole day planner idea that the day planner being left there at
at home.
at home instead of going with her?
I think that there's a couple of possibilities. On this one, I tend to think more of the Occam's razor, and that is, I think that it's a possibility that Teresa had left with it in her car. Don't know this. This is speculation. Can't prove any of it, right?
Yeah.
But I think that could have happened. She may have gotten a call right there close by, and she realized maybe she forgot something, goes back home, takes the calendar in the house and leaves it there. I don't know. There's a couple of possibilities. That's just one. But
J-Dex, did you hear what I was talking about? How I had to give in to a guilter today that they could be right.
Defense diaries.
Yeah. About that. That's
I saw part of that. I didn't read through all that, but I kind of knew where it was heading, leading.
Oh, well, I was going back and forth with some guy named Tim, but then Benjamin jumped in, and Benjamin's the one comment got me to change my mind. It was like, what? Because I was convinced that she had it in her car with her because it was, for all the reasons. But
right.
But then he told me that she took the calls, and he said she was probably out driving around somewhere nearby her house, pinging off her home tower, took the calls, said, I got to pull over so I could check my calendar or my schedule. And then went back home and printed up the directions to her appointments, and then probably left the day planner there then, and then went to her appointments. There's no way to prove that that's true, or the other way is true, that it was in the car. But
so T1 said, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, we just know that she was in that area, from the time that she got up. And, if she doesn't leave that immediate area away from her home tower, we have no way of really knowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so T1 said that Kratz presented in MAM 2 as the day planner page in the possession of Ryan Halbach that had the original handwritten note by Teresa from that day. So that doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you going to copy a copy of your day planner? That doesn't.
Wait,
that doesn't
what?
make it, like, why would you? I mean, that you go from one extreme to the other. You go from.
That's right. T1.
You go from now. It's that important. She's going to make a copy of what she printed out. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't think that's what. I don't think that's what he's saying.
Maybe I read it wrong.
Yeah, KZ presented it in MAM 2 as the day planner page in the possession of Ryan that had original handwritten note by Teresa from that day. So yeah, she did handwrite onto it.
Okay, I thought he was trying to say that Kratz was saying he was a copy. Okay, that's my fault.
Here's this. I didn't understand the explanation for the daytime. It was actually daytime or brand calendar. It was like a computer, it was a program like on the computer. And I don't know if she had anything on her Palm Pilot or if that was on her Palm Pilot, but she printed it up off of her computer at home, the page for the week.
I mean, you probably know, Ellie, the Palm Pilot that comes with its own software, and you can connect through. It might have had Bluetooth. I'm not sure. I think it did. Those Palm Pilots, and some of them did come with wireless, but that was a extra. I'm 99% sure the one she had did not have wireless, but I think it did have Bluetooth, so she could Bluetooth that Palm Pilot to her laptop probably, or use a cable.
Oh, was there even Bluetooth back then?
Oh yeah,
there was. Okay, I don't remember Bluetooth. That was
2005.
way advanced for me.
That was in its early days.
Yeah, infancy stages of it. JJX, I was going to tell you too that I think I alluded to it in the chat today. The Bushman theory that he came out of retirement for one day.
No, he wasn't retired.
He was retired. He was a reserve officer.
Officer, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he was.
He was retired, but he's still. I'm a reserve officer. That's the reason why I know what.
Right.
Because there's a lot of guys that will keep up the certification, and so he didn't come out of retirement for a day. He was a reserve officer and had the experience. So I think he probably had something to do with it. But I know that Dr. Suckman was having some issues with that one. With that, did I make sense today with what I was saying about the
phone call?
The evidence collection with the state.
Refresh me on what you said. I think I remember, but
so I think you guys were all very hung up on this state not taking over, not collecting the evidence and everything else like that.
The crime lab.
Yeah, the crime lab.
Yeah.
So how it is here is
we're back.
At Alabama, from what I understand, the evidence, the stuff I've looked at is very it's very ironic because the department I was in at the time and all the stuff they did mirrored exactly the kind of department I was in at the time. This about the same size, the same technology. Your bigger towns had computers. We didn't have computers. They didn't have computers. So, or may have computers, but it was very limited in what it could do. I remember that there was a big fight we had computers at first, but you had to do all this stuff, had to pull up to a hotspot outside because the cards were like $100 a month per car. It was something stupid. Yeah. And it was, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But, so Alabama here, from what I understand, is the same as Wisconsin. I'm trying to verify that with some law enforcement sources. So the state of Alabama here does not do anything with evidence collection, does not do anything with investigation. Strictly what we do is we are doing the investigation. We also have a mobile crime lab for the state, but the state just does forensics. They may send somebody out, but it's a chain of custody. So, like, for example, if there's a drug arrest made, we can't technically do the full charge until that has come back from the state lab. But we can do on the street investigation as far as, little test kits, but they're not 100% reliable. So, like if we had a major crime, the sheriff's department is the end all say all. The only person that trumps that would be federal. So if you had it was a federal where you had several murders and whatever, and the FBI was called in for whatever reason. But the state does not collect. There's no collection person. There's no. They don't have a crime team like you see in CSI. Now there is states that do that. There's lots of states. Pennsylvania, I think, is one of them. But I know Alabama for sure. That's where I'm at, and that's what I work in. Definitely does not do any kind of collection. Does not aid at all in the investigation. All they strictly do is process what is given to them in chain of custody. So that's the reason why when he said he wasn't going to do anything with the burn site, the chain of custody was broken there for him to be comfortable in taking over the chain of custody in law enforcement. There's documentation to back everything up. So he said, I'm not doing it. And that was strictly on the chain of custody not being able to be verified. So he refused that. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense at all?
Well, yes and no, because I'm not 100% sure how it works in Wisconsin, but just from what I can gather, you have, of course, the local and your state police, which they call on the crime reconstruction unit to do all the photos and take all the measurements with their total control system. And then, of course, the DCI, which you get into the state level police, and then or state agents, I should say. But then the crime lab, I think they had 3 at the time. I think it's still the same. There might be a 4th one by now, but as I understand it, the crime lab gets called in I guess it's under certain conditions. I don't know what those conditions are. I do remember a phone call. I'd have to dig it up. I'm sure I probably could pretty easily. From MTSO DI, the deputy inspector, Shetter, which he seemed to be leading the charge, at least at the Avery Salvage Yard. He wanted the crime lab there. And that was actually a pretty early call on the 5th.
Yeah, and we have that we have that also. We have a mobile crime lab and everything. It's just to help process the scene better and help with the chain of custody. They can do some mobile stuff there. We have a semi type rig that comes out.
Right.
It's got a mobile lab in it. It's just to help.
I think my biggest problem, Jeremy, is that given that Manitowoc County had this massive lawsuit.
Oh, 100%. No, listen. We are on the same page. I wouldn't have been. Listen, if I would have been in that department, you couldn't drag me out, fire me.
I'll do anything else in the county. But I'm not going to salvage yard.
Hey, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come work your county. You come over and do this investigation. I'll figure out your calls in your county.
Yeah, we'll swap.
Yeah, so that is how. As a law enforcement officer, I have no clue how half that stuff got through. Yeah, that ties run deep in that whole state. But
I don't think that they really cared. I don't think they ever thought it would be questioned.
Oh, yeah, you're 100% correct. I've told Allie this before. I've dealt with a lot of, and I've been in law enforcement 25 years, and I probably know of 3 or 4 directly or indirectly that I've been involved in that with corruption, in departments that I've been at. We had a sheriff that was sheriff for 30 something years, 34, 36 years, something like that just got arrested a couple years ago and sentenced. And everybody knew he was corrupt. That was the thing.
Everybody's like, it's about damn time.
Yeah, no, everybody was, some people were, he was this is oxymoron, and I'm going to say it. He was a good sheriff. He put on a good front. He put on, backed his officer. His officers were good officers. He just was out for him and did a lot of unethical things. gambled with money, like the jail would take jail money. It was just stuff that I'm better, basically it comes down to an ego thing where I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. And
Sure.
who's gonna question me? I'm the sheriff.
Mm.
So that's what I think. Here we can tell this. We have to request the state to come in, and they do not have any evidence text. They don't have anybody for collections. That's strictly just on law enforcement. The same thing too, like the firemen and stuff. People that weren't, after it became a crime scene, like there shouldn't have been anybody in there besides law enforcement. Like that's unless somebody's hurt, like nobody goes in that crime scene. It's not a law enforcement officer or detective or, something, the coroner or something. You don't have the, this is a fire going on. A fireman doesn't, why are firemen they don't know protocols. They tear up everything. So they
that's what they were doing. I think.
Yeah, they were tearing up everything. So, I mean, like that blows my mind. Like, how do you have somebody who is not in official capacity with someone like, and Jamie, you're 100%. He was thought he was untouchable. They all did. And it's a good old boys network. It's I've said this before about corruption. People think corruption, like a whole department, is corrupt, and it's not.
I don't not anymore. I used to.
Yeah, it's a house of cards. So how corruption works is you've got one or two, possibly three main players, and people get sucked into the corruption. This is what I think Colbert. I do not think Colbert ever set out to be corrupt. He got sucked into the point where he's retarded, and he's got an engineer personality, and he's not a law enforcement type person, doesn't have that personality at all. But I think what they do is they get sucked into a rabbit hole enough that, like, hey, I'm not going to question authority. My supervisor told me this. And then by the time they find out that that they're into something that they weren't supposed to be into, it's too late. Now they're in. So now they have their hooks in you of like, well, hey, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. And that's what I think you can always tell when there is a new regime, if you would, regime of power in sheriff's departments, because I always wanted, like, it when people talk about corruption and, like a sheriff gets arrested or something like that. And I kind of look to see who changed, if anything changed hands. If nothing changed hands, the corruption's still there. A new sheriff could come in that comes in and actually gets rid of the corruption. Your top people are gone. If the top people are still in play, there's the corruption still there. So whether they know it or not, those sheriffs that I think the county met, and the former people that were in trouble, that would have been in trouble over the lawsuit, still had their hooks in the people that were in power at that time, because now, hey, if you don't help us with the situation, I think it was just a house of cards that fell just right. And honestly, I don't think a lot of it was planned. I think it was just a happenstance, and we went along with that happenstance. But I think that they still have their claws in them, and basically, you've got your they've got their claws in them, and basically, if they're gonna, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. I'm so you have to go along with it. Dirty White Country Boy, I agree to some degree, but here's the problem you have with that: the house of cards falls at some point. So if there's a lot of people who are, I think a lot of people are culpable from the standpoint of getting sucked in, or they know and they don't want to be the person that says it, which just means you're as guilty as that. But if there's too much that comes out, too many people talk, if too many people are involved in the actual corruption part of it, the culpable people. And so you always know if there's a lot of people in it, because the rumors always start coming out of, somebody's going to say something somewhere. And whether, usually the rumor mill is correct a lot of times because of that reason. So,
another problem is that I get what Country Boy is saying, but here's another part of the problem. you have, let's just say you have in a department, you got 3 or 4 that are doing shit they're not really supposed to do, but then you got the rest of the guys and gals that are um, just doing their damn job, right? They got bills, they got
Yeah,
mortgages, they got car payments, just like everyone else. They
exactly.
may they may have seen or suspect something going on.
But you have to have solid proof, and then now
Well,
you're
not only that, but this is true, and I think we've all seen it. There is no real safe way, especially in some departments, for people to come forward and say, "You got a couple of guys over here or whoever that are doing some funny shit," because they can put their lives and their families' lives in danger. There is no good way to do that.
yeah.
And I'm not excusing anybody. I'm not.
No, and you are 100% because every time the corruption that that I know about that I've either been involved with in the department, we had a corrupt captain to the point that he I'll tell you offline sometime, but he pulled over blue lighted a mail truck and told the mailman he needed something out of it, and he wouldn't do it, and he actually threatened to arrest him.
What?
Yes, yeah. This is all documented, and it went to the AG's office. Like it'd blow your mind. Never got arrested. Never got.
That's federal.
Yeah, that's federal. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, went to the AG's office. Yeah. Never saw the light of day. So it's the mailman he went and grabbed it, got his. I mean, you can't just pull over a mailman and do whatever you want to do with the mail. I don't care if it was your mail at one time or not. He's like, now it's in my possession. I can't give you back anything.
No,
absolutely. So not. I don't care who you are. And he's like, I'll just take you to jail then. So it was, but to prove corruption, that's the other bad thing about it is you have to be so sure. And that's the reason why these mafia guys have gotten away with what they have, because somebody didn't cross a T or dot an I and they got off on one little loophole.
That's right.
And so now the guys, now you've got the target on your back. Case in point, when that happened, when that incident happened with that captain, the captain kind of ran the department. The chief was just always wringing his hands of like, I hope nobody gets in, he was a patsy basically. But somebody in the department, and I know who it was, everybody knows who it is now, but got a hold of the AG's office and said, hey, you really need to investigate this corruption going on here. There's a lot of corruption going on, and named several things that had transpired. And so instead of the chief later on trying to get rid of that corruption, he was headhunting, and the AG's office actually had to call once, if not twice, the chief and said, you can't headhunt. You can't be, he's calling people in his office. Like, did you say something, Sir General? Like, wow. I mean, you can't do that. Like, that's not, but it's easier said than done as far as just, it's crazy. It's a house of cards. And so the funny part about it is the guy who blew the whistle on him, he actually made him retire because he saw the writing on the wall and he was applying for other places because they finally found out that that was him that called. Well, he happened to get a job with the governor's task force that they were starting an ethics commission.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
So he thought it'd probably be best to go ahead and retire. So he retired. And so this tells you anything. The corrupt sheriff that I was telling you about that got arrested was in that county. So he hired former retired police officers to be SROs in most everybody that retired, that still had some life in them, that became an SRO for the county. And because, you're already retired, you can go to another department and, get paid, sit around and watch kids. So, it's a pretty cool job. So this corrupt captain couldn't even get a SRO job. Everybody got an SRO job if you wanted it and you retired. This corrupt captain couldn't get an SRO job because the sheriff, the corrupt sheriff at the time that everybody knew was corrupt, that he hadn't gone to jail yet, he wouldn't touch him because he was like, no, sir, I don't want none of that. I don't want nothing to do with that. And he's like,
Right.
that's too corrupt for me. I'm good. So, yeah. So
Mhm.
he has rode off into the sunset. And, but yeah, I think Colburn is an engineer personality. He wants to be liked. He's a rule follower. And of what people have told him, his superiors have told him, he's not going to question authority. That's one of the problems I also have in law enforcement is there is a lot of people that are promoted that don't deserve to be promoted. And the only reason they got promoted is because they're yes men.
Right.
Not their leadership,
Right.
which is the way it should be. But because they're yes men, they're going to do whatever. They're not going to question authority. And
Right.
so that's the reason why Colburn was promoted to where he was at. Was because he was just a yes man. And then do I think that he may be so dumb that I can't see how he would not be corrupt at this point as far as like being culpable, but did he ever start out to be that way? No, not at all. I do not believe that at all.
Well, I think
So
what T is saying is, why would he make so much noise if he was corrupt and draw attention to himself and possibly
because he wants to be right. He wants the louder, whoever yells the loudest. If he keeps pleading his case, he becomes right. It's a narcissist part of him.
But
That he's same thing that Kratz is doing, but without the ego that Kratz has got as far as
that guy's definitely got about 4 or 5 screws loose.
Man, so and usually the people I firmly believe that he is I think he's trying to vindicate himself, and the more he tries to vindicate himself, the worse he looks. But he's got that engineer personality, and he just can't get over.
He made several mistakes without going and pointing all of them out. So one of the biggest mistakes he made was, my opinion only, you guys don't have to agree, nobody out there has to agree, was in signing that exclusivity deal with convicting of murder, which prevented him from talking to anyone. He couldn't interview with anyone except them. So he comes along here, he's getting ready to, after making murder, comes out in this lawsuit and all blah blah blah. He spent 3 years trying to find a lawyer, but they talk him into signing this deal where he can't talk to anyone but them. And you can tell by just what we read through tonight, this guy wants to talk.
Yeah.
He'll sing like a canary, and that's you know who's not singing like a canary?
Ken Kratz.
No, he's out there trying to. He's got his
well, maybe under alt he's talking, but yeah.
But I mean, listen, who do you hear the very least out of unless you actually have to? James Link.
Yeah.
That's the so he's got to defend himself, and I the plates. So I'm of the adage of, if you make it make sense to me, I will believe. I can be on board. I can either agree or disagree, or but I'll realize your validity. I see no validity at all in him calling the tags in. It doesn't gain anything. Is there? There's nothing that I can see that it gains.
Well, it doesn't make sense considering the prior several events that preceded him having to call dispatch to confirm the plate number. That's my problem. I don't understand.
See, I can make that make sense. I mean, to me, I can make it make sense because I was in that time frame. Same thing. I've told Allie that's always been a non-issue for me. Um, we didn't have computers back then in the cars. I've done it before. I'm either driving. You get something, not to the supervisor level, but you get something. Somebody tells you something, you write it down. You don't know what it is. We were always taught back then. Um, Things change now because we're on 800 megahertz and the radios have changed drastically.
Yep.
But you always the dreaded getting walked on by somebody who truly needs help, and everybody you keep off the radio as much as possible, is kind of what was drilled in our heads of like, what if somebody has an actual emergency and you're over here dicking around asking stupid stuff on the radio. So we called we the same thing, like the radio for us was for yes or no answers, running a tag, getting everything. There was no discussion on the radio. You didn't have discussions on the radio. You had discussions on the phone. So I firmly believe that he did write something down, and in his engineer personality mind, he has to make sure everything's correct. And that's the reason why when a lot of people are saying, well, why do you wait 3 hours? Well, he's not the brightest cookie in the bunch. He just happened to look down at what he wrote and realizes, is that a 7? Is that a 5? Instead of just looking for the RAV4 and then deal with it. Hey, I've got 8 of the, or I've got 6 of the 8 numbers match. Maybe I'm off a number that was there. His engineer personality would not let that go, and he's got a call. And I'm sure that I don't believe so much the part about I think that was thrown in later on about being off the scanner. It sounds good, but I don't think he's that bright to realize that. I just think
he never said that. He never said that till recently. That never came out.
Yeah. I firmly believe he wrote down like the was that 8? Was that 8 a 6? Did I write? Was that 9? How did I? So you're going to have a discussion if it's wrong, and his engineer personality would not let that go. And I firmly believe that he called dispatch to confirm what he thought it was, and if it wasn't, okay, well, is run it with an 8 instead of the 6. So you'd have a conversation. So I've done that before. I've done the same exact thing. We've wrote something down wrong before, and we'd call into dispatch because it would be a conversation of, hey, what was that Bolo? Give me that Bolo tag again.
Right.
So,
but 3 hours later, and after you've already gone to
again,
someone's house,
I wouldn't. You don't know what he saw that made him look at that tag. He may have saw something that was similar, and then realized that his tag was off. Engineer personalities are they don't make sense.
Or maybe sitting there in the church parking lot looking through his notes and like, what the hell did I write down?
Yeah, what did I write down? And I firmly believe, because it doesn't. Here's my thing: make it make sense why he would have called the tags in if he would have saw the vehicle. That doesn't make any sense at all, because now you got a whole different can of worms that don't make any sense. Like
he called it in on the phone though.
No,
so
what would he gain by being behind the vehicle? What would just suppose he was behind the vehicle. Let's just say he's behind the vehicle. What would it benefit? How would that benefit the way everything went? Him being behind the vehicle, like how would that change anything?
Or even if he just had saw the license plate laying on the church parking lot.
So he's of the personality, like for me, for example, I would be looking for a 99 RAV4 bluish green in color. Honestly, I wouldn't even look at the tag. I would wait till I'm behind the vehicle to go, get a Bolo again, or run this tag. But it doesn't make any sense him finding the vehicle. That's what I'm trying to say is make it make sense of him finding the vehicle. There's nothing that I can come up with that would benefit him, the prosecution, Manitowoc, of him finding the vehicle. Like, now you just proved that the vehicle was out and about somewhere else. And
you got another problem too, because you got Remaker and Dettering heading that way.
Yeah. So I mean,
if that RAV is sitting there, there's a chance they're going to see it and they're going to say, Why didn't you call us in? Right?
Yeah, and so
I don't know that, but
it doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense of him being behind the vehicle because it now you've changed everything. How now you got to if they weren't involved in the corruption part of it, now you've got this car that is not where it needs to be. So now we got to. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So that's the reason why I've always said that it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It's the engineer personality in him. He needs to know if it's a 99 RAV4. He needs to know what the plates are. He needs to know what the air in the tire is, what the person looks like. I mean, he's that type of engineer personality where most of us aren't that way. And that's just him. I don't have a problem with that at all. So that's just my take. And I may be 100% off, but that's just being in that situation before. That makes sense to me. So now if you would have said, hey, listen, the car was found, in the ditch over here, and that was on his way that was there. And for whatever reason, no, I didn't see the vehicle, that we're in a totally different situation. Now we don't have, it just doesn't make any sense. So, and I firmly believe that he saw that. He looked at it 3 hours later because it wasn't on his mind. He just happened to be looking through his notes, being an engineer. We all know engineer personalities. So, Jamie, I don't claim to have all the information. I can just vouch for what makes sense to me. I'm a make sense kind of guy. So,
let me roll this little marble around your all's head for you were talking about chain of custody a minute ago. So just think, and I'm not trying, this is another trick question. What's the first piece of evidence found?
The
it would
RAV.
have been the car.
That's right. Okay. Now, there's been some discussion about this, about various things, and maybe I'm splitting hairs. I don't know. I don't think I am. So that's the first piece of evidence found by clearly Pamagod and Nicole. And then, of course, Manitowoc arrives on scene pretty quickly. Then Calumet's right on their heels. It's decided by about 12:30 that Calumet's going to take the case. Of course, they're not yanking the RAV at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm speaking from a chain of custody issue here, and it may not make a hill of beans one way or the other, and it probably doesn't. But this is this bothers me because they did it with everything else. Why wasn't the RAV entered as the first piece of evidence on the Calumet County ledger? It should have been. But that RAV does not hit the Calumet County ledgers until the 11th, until they get it back.
So I don't know how their chain of custody or their evidence tag goes. It may just be when it's finalized from whatever they've deemed where it needs to be. I don't know, but it's
not.
correct.
It's not that way. It's not that way. I could tell you that for Calumet, that's not what, or Manitowoc. They don't do it that way. Go ahead.
Well, here's let me throw this at you. This is I have a theory. Here's my theory. This would explain the bones being, because I never understood why, like what, again, back to, you got to think it through. Like what makes sense? Like what is it makes sense? Like I couldn't understand why bones were in different parts of the, like, why do you spread in the bones like that? If you're going to destroy the bones, go take it down the river where it washes down the, like, if you're like,
yep.
Well, whatever, the body parts, the whatever cremated parts of it. Here's my take on it. My take on it is, and the same reason that I think that they had the plates, because it wouldn't benefit. What would it benefit Steven to take the plates off? That I never understood that either. I'm like, why?
And to keep them? Absolutely not.
Yeah. So why? So here's my theory. My theory is I don't think they ever thought that Pam would get on the property. Is what I think, because they would have corroborated somehow to get on the property. They still had to frame him. That you still have to find that vehicle. So I do not think that I think they gave the stuff to her in case she got on there. But I think they firmly put the bones and everything else so they would be, if they'd find them, it'd give them probable cause to come searching over at the Averys. Same thing with the license plate. I think there's another piece of insurance that they could, especially where it was found, that they could plant it somewhere close enough to where, like putting it at the entry, somewhere where they would be coming in and finding it, or finding it on the side of the road, in front of the cars, will that give them probable cause to come on the property and, wow, we found the RAV. So I think it was insurance, and that's the reason why I believe that the license plates were crumpled up. It was in somebody's pocket. They didn't need it anymore. They didn't need to be holding it. So we need to put it as more evidence for Avery. So they punched in the first, that where the vehicle was at. That was one of the closer places to walk to that you could get away with walking, because you're walking towards Stevens, and you put it in that station wagon.
Station wagon.
That's sitting right there.
I mean, to me, it was damn lucky if they'd been found by the firemen.
Yeah. So, they need to get rid of them. They need to get rid of them but it makes no sense at all. Like, I never understood that, because you have to think like a criminal. Like, why would you, if you're going to take the time to take plates off, but leave it on the property? That makes absolutely no sense at all. No. So it makes sense on the fact of, I don't think they ever thought that Pam would get on the property. And I think they needed it as something to plant somewhere along, even maybe plant it in Steven's trailer at some point. I don't know, but I think they used it. And then once they got in, that was the reason why the bones were in everywhere, because that would also give them another avenue to be able to get on the property, because it was found close to it and in different places. So we need to come over there. They'd probably be able to get a search warrant to do a precursor on that, on that berm, and boom, we found the RAV. So they had to make that make sense. And that's my theory. That makes sense to me, but that's just my take on it.
I just don't. I mean, so much other, basically anything with the crime lab, for the most part. I'm not going to say everything, but certainly, I think the more major things that were found by Calumet or Manitowoc got entered into the ledger, and then it was transferred right on the chain of custody. It's transferred, and then this shit got transferred back, got transferred back to Calumet or whatever. So but the RAV, it was not done that way. I'm not saying there's anything nefarious. Maybe they just forgot.
That had to be some. Yeah, that I don't have an answer for that. And like I said, if that were to, like you said, what would it matter either way, on that? But yeah, that is kind of weird. I don't understand that. So
it is weird. I don't know.
It should have been the first piece of evidence in the ledger, but it was not.
Yeah, you'd think, but
yeah, it's the first thing found.
Or the day planner, I guess, maybe technically.
Well, the day planner wouldn't have been.
Yeah, on the 3rd.
Well, it wouldn't be. It technically wouldn't. It'd be. It's not evidence because there wasn't a crime committed at that point.
Well, I mean, yeah, right. I guess it is evidence, but
it is evident. But the car being on the property is the first thing that is, because that's what she was in. So
that was the game changer. The car. I mean, finding the RAV on the property or anywhere. Actually.
And they had to find the RAV on the property, and they had to find a way to get that. Oh,
absolutely.
So because of that, I think that's the reason why. Sapricop, Ryan and them directed her to it. I think that
I think so.
I think that Pam is too smart for her own good. She's a part of me, if any blondes are in here. She was a dumb blonde and thought she was, a genius, and she wasn't. So I think
a terrible actress.
Oh yeah, very much so. So I think like I was telling somebody earlier, I said, if I say, man, I had the best cheeseburger and last week, that man from, this place down here at the end of the street, and this man's the best cheeseburger I ever had. And then 30 minutes later, you say, hey, I'm gonna go down to that place down there. You want something? Sure. Just pick me up whatever. You know what you're going to bring me back?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Because I put that in your head. So I think that's the same way. The same way with that, I think they would have said, "Hey, if we were going to start a search, if hey, make sure you check that berm area in the back." I don't think they ever planned that she was going to go right to it. That she knew that there was in her detective work, probably or whatever, knowing that there's a road going through there. I don't think they ever planned it that way, because I think that she would find it eventually. Because you got 4,000 cars, like. You know how long it'd take you to just driving through to look for 4,000 cars? So,
if you're just rolling through, looking
4,000 cars.
It probably minimum take you at least an hour and a half.
Oh, easily.
Right?
Like, yeah. I mean, I would say a good part of the day, at least.
Depending on how they're situated. Depending on how they're situated, sure.
If you could even drive up and down, but you're talking about walking it. You know,
oh yeah,
4,000 cars, you'd be there 2 days.
Well, you know,
so
that's a,
you know, that I think that it was planted in her mind subliminally, as far as like, hey, you know, that'd be a good place to look, or you know, end up back over here. Well, she's the genius, so that's where I'm going to start, not end up at, you know, just whatever it is, and you know, the walk of God. It's, you know, they were too good of.
I don't buy Pam's story. I'm sorry. I just.
Oh
don't.
yeah, I mean, listen, Ray Charles can see that she.
Well, you think about coming out the back door there, where she went in, or in the parking lot, or where she was with Earl and whoever that customer was. Those cars right there. So, are you gonna just look straight and then go left?
Well, if you
go down.
Look, yeah, well, like what Allie was saying, we found video. Like if you look down that road back behind Chuck's, like you can't tell the road ends. And there's a
right.
It doesn't
County.
It looks like it ends.
It looks like it ends. I mean, that's what I said. I'm sorry, I said that backwards.
Yeah.
It looks like it ends. You can't tell that it drops off down into from where you're looking at.
Right.
So you would have no reason to know. We didn't have Apple. Pull up on your phone and go, oh, there's a road that goes back here.
Right.
It's going away from the pit. Like, you would never think that it would,
you know, that's
curve around.
I think they probably told her that, hey, if you go back over here, there's this over, you know, make sure you check out, you know, in your searching of the whole property, make sure you go over that direction. Yeah, well, you know, check over by the crusher. Or check over by the pond. Maybe they put it in the pond. Well, that's the first place she's going to go. Not realizing that she's not right. She's the, you know, the PI investigative, you know, genius that she is. That's where the thing is, that's where I'm going first. You know,
but she wouldn't know how to get to the pond or the crusher without somebody telling her.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's a road. They could say, you know, make a circle. I about guarantee you said, hey, probably the best way to do it is you go here and make a circle around and come back out. If you can't see it, but there's a road that if you follow that road will bring you all the way back up to the front of the office there. Well, in her infinite wisdom, because she's smarter than everybody. Well, if they're telling me that, I'm going to go that direction and go back to the other direction. I know that road comes out there, so that makes sense to me.
Somebody would have to tell her exactly which way to go. And if you time that walk from the front of the office and take her direct path right to the RAV, that takes 9 minutes to walk it without stopping at all. And
that's not including looking at 50 cars. She said they looked at.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, and she would have to. She would have to go in a way that makes no sense, which was around the back side of the office, around back that way, and then not take the obvious direct path right in front of her. She would have to do that, and then she would have to get past the fact that that road that she's on looks like it dead ends into trees, you know. So
and also
go that way, and then she would have to walk right by fucking, you know, Chuck's house and, you know, all the other crap down there before you even can tell that it goes down into the pit. So she's like going this whole which way. It's a crazy, crazy path, but
So
it led
what
right
does it
there.
look like? What is it? Does it? Because to me in the video, it looked like from the crusher, when you look at the crusher back to where you had to go back behind the pond, can you tell that there's a path that goes back behind the pond? It looked
Yeah.
like you couldn't, it looked
You
like you
can't
couldn't tell that either.
you can't go behind the pond, but you go up on that rise there where the cars were. Yeah, there is a path that goes there.
But could you see it though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all obvious because cars have been driven up and down there, and there's like a cleared path there. But somebody said, random said, or she wanted to stay on a road. There is a road. It's literally a road
Main
that
road
goes
the main
from
road that, let me see if I can find it and I'll link
Yeah.
it in the
literally a road that goes right down and from in front of the office down into the pit. That is a road that's driven all the time. It looks
Yep.
like, and yeah, one more reason to suspect I think Ryan gave her the damn directions, or, somebody told her which way to go. I don't think there's any way around that.
I don't need.
Jamie.
What did T do now? What did T1 do?
Jamie, look at
Oh,
Pam
Jamie.
couldn't fuck her way out of an 80s porn video. She's not that bright.
Oh, we get some good 70s porn music. You just hold on.
I thought she found it. But then, so she finds it in 20 minutes. If it takes 9 minutes to walk, she found it literally in 11 minutes of looking at cars along the way, which there was a lot of cars along the way, but you still wouldn't, more than half of the way down that path, you wouldn't think that it's going to go into the pit. Like, you really cannot tell that it's going to end up there.
Well, and that also is discounting the fact if that car had been sitting there for several days, that somebody wouldn't have seen it and inquired about it. No way. No way.
Yeah.
People on that junkyard all the time.
And that's why everything was put over it. It wasn't to hide it from the police. It was to hide it from the Averys, because they would have picked that out in a heartbeat, going, that's not supposed to be here. It's too new of a car.
Right.
So,
Okay, so Sapper's got a question. How would Ryan know where to put the RAV? How would he be familiar enough with the yard to know that?
I think that's where the flyover comes in. The flyover, that the video that they have that conveniently
On the 4th.
gets deleted, where they flew for what, 20 minutes, something like that. That conveniently gets deleted right there. Right. I mean, you can't make this stuff up like that. That's what kills me. I'm like half the stuff would have got thrown out in court. Just like I don't understand it. But yeah, there's a video that it leaves like right as they're making the turn. It gets erased. Wasn't there a birthday or a Christmas party or something like that? It gets videoed over it.
Oh, there's some kind of work thing that, video's over. Well, yeah.
And we've never seen the second video. Never was even entered into evidence.
See, I didn't know about this till J-Jax told me. There's another video, or another, what is it, 8mm?
There's another 8mm tape that was never entered into evidence.
Love to see that.
We don't know.
I know there was 2 cameras. Poggle, I believe Poggle had one, and Wendy Baldwin had one. Now, I don't remember who had which camera, but I know there was like 2 different cameras going. So they definitely hours flying over. I think they were out for like 4 hours flying around that day. So they definitely.
I thought it was like 20 minutes.
Flying. No, flying.
No, they went. No, they were up in the air for
hours.
I remember, it seemed like it was 2:30, 3 o'clock that they went up. That Curtis Drum took them out. I can't remember. I'd have to look.
I think it was like 4 hours.
Believe that they used that video to figure out where to put the car.
Maybe. Could be, yeah.
And you know that the DCI went up on the 6th and the 8th, and they took FLIR. And I've tried to get those videos, but I've been unsuccessful.
I just posted a video. If you look at the 10-minute and like 40-second mark, you can see like the day of. This is November 6th. You can see the day of, and you can see down the tree line where Pam would have walked, and you can see exactly what it looked like. That you can tell it just goes to trees, and there's no way to tell that road goes down. It's Calumet's Calumet County Sheriff's Office video. And they also show it's a 10-minute, and if you start at the 10-minute 43-second mark, I think is where it's at. Well, if you go back to the 10-minute and 30-second mark, you can see where the command center was set up at also.
I am okay. So it's not showing your comment because you linked a video in YouTube. Can you link it in Discord so I can open
I linked it in YouTube. YouTube bans YouTube videos. What?
Yeah, it blocked it. If you look on there, your comments not there. But Sapper, so I think here's what I think. I have always thought that Ryan either found the car or planted the car. I don't know which, but I've always kind of leaned more towards he planted the car.
Sure.
But how would Ryan know? I don't know. I think it's possible, something I've been thinking about lately. It's possible that Bobby was used to plant the car, and Ryan is like the go-between or whatever, and he might have been told how to find it. So when he passed it on to Pam, like, I don't know. I've been trying to work that shit out in my head.
Well, somebody had to put the car there.
Figure it out. So, but if you were to go in from the back way, you would basically just follow the berm straight and then go up on that ledge. That would be.
Didn't they think that was already blocked off, or they blocked it off? And
no,
somebody,
it wasn't completely blocked off. Like,
no, but I mean they didn't they have cars? I'm saying, they blocked it off with cars, right?
One car, the Pinto.
Yeah,
I got those. I got those photos.
Yeah, it's blocked like a motherfucker now. It's really blocked up now.
Right, but back then it was just a single car, and it didn't have an engine or transmission in it.
And that's where they think the damage came in from.
Yeah.
Well, maybe for the parking lot.
From them driving it back there and hitting that Pinto.
Maybe. It's possible.
I don't know.
10:30. Okay.
Yeah, this is O-Dog's video. Yeah. I've seen it.
Okay, how do I Okay. Can you tell me how to show the video on here?
Yeah, just open the link and then pause it.
Okay.
And then go down to present on StreamYard.
Yeah.
And then it should be in your first tab there.
Okay. There it is.
Yep.
All right, what are we looking at, sir?
10 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wait.
You're right. Just right there is fine.
Is it showing? Okay. Cool.
But go ahead and hit the full
screen.
There you go.
Okay.
So give it a second. If you look at this video, I can't remember. It's a little bit before this. You'll see their command center. Yeah, it's right there. There's the command center. That was right in front of Mama Avery's house. So that was their command. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The command center is set up here, so it's very convenient for somebody. This is right here.
There's the road. That's the road. Looks like it ends in the trees, and you can't see the curve in the road. Well, there used to be cars parked all up and down the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at current videos, people have been there. Now there's cars up and down the sides, and well, now it's blocked off.
Well, now there's no cars because they're crushing
Yeah.
all the damn cars to get rid of them before they sell. But okay, and then they walk down a
Yeah,
little further.
they'll walk down Chuck's.
Yeah,
Here's the-
and then you could see from there. You don't see shit. You can't see.
He'll
down
he'll
the
walk a
road.
little he'll walk a little farther down Chuck's.
Yeah, and
And you can see-
still you won't see into the
I think he
pit.
zooms in right here. Yes, he
Yeah,
zooms
see,
in right
look
there.
at, you still don't see the damn pit right here in front of Chuck's house. So you're like, why am I walking this way? But no, they don't stop. They keep going this fucking way. It makes no damn sense. Nope, this is the way to go. Let's go. Yeah, bullshit. Okay, did you want to show anything else?
No, if somebody watches this video, it gives them a lot more description. I mean, you can see actually if you come, let me see, it's that same video. It shows the pit area also. Let me see if I can find it real quick where it's at on that.
Jesus.
It may be before that. It may be if you go before that, it shows the pit that he walks out of Steve's or out of Avery office and goes into that. Where's Discord?
Yeah, there it is, right there. See where that golf cart's coming from?
Yeah.
That's going straight down into the pit.
Right.
Right there. That's where it is. And I mean, and it's clear as hell. You can see it's perfectly clear that path goes straight into the pit. So why would she take that way? She would not. She would not at all. There's no way in hell.
Like you go right where all the, and I think he walks a little further, if I'm not mistaken, in this video.
Yeah,
he walks a little. He may not.
I don't think
walk.
so.
There's another video that shows right up there where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
But that would make sense to me. The whole plate theory that I was thinking, that's why it kind of makes sense to me, is because you can get away with walking from the command center to Steven's trailer and ditching that into, because it's right around the corner, isn't it? Right by the you'll be able to see in this video. You'll see that car. If I'm not mistaken, it's right behind one of the buildings or fences. So it's like the first convenient place to put it.
Yeah, and it's near one of the unloaders too.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, if you got the crumple, that's another reason why it's crumpled up, because it's in somebody's coat pocket, and you know.
And you think about though, 3,800 plus cars on that property, and that fireman just happens to find it in that car. That just boggles my mind how he found it. A crumple. It wasn't like it was laid out flat where he could read the numbers.
Yeah. Well, they probably got told to search those front vehicles really close, see if there's some evidence that they threw on the way to drive the car out.
I mean, there's literally cars everywhere there at that time.
I think this says plus or minus 4,000.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the path right there, right? I think.
Yeah, it's on the other. It's back the other direction.
Yeah, to the left here. I think. All right.
It's right on the other side. That's right around. It's right over here, isn't it?
Oh shit! You know what? I don't know. I'm all turned around.
It's right. It's right on the other side of this barn. Is it not? Wait, no. I'm going the wrong direction.
Yeah, it was like
Other
literally
direction.
right behind us. So.
I think it's right behind that building. Was it not?
No, that's.
No. The other building. The other building going this direction. The other blue building. Right there.
Yeah, there's a blue building. There's definitely a blue building, but maybe down that way.
It's right by the. It's like the first vehicle.
Hold on. Oh, okay. You're talking about the car. I was talking about a closer view of the path.
Oh no! I was talking about the car.
That's the path right there. Boom. That's. I don't know if can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
That's the path right there, going down into the pit. Boom, right there. and then this is a a raised section, but this goes down into the pit here, and it's a big area, so it's
Yeah.
she could have driven there, but
Well, she could have come out back too, behind where
yeah,
you pull in and went straight down towards the crusher. There's a road straight down that way too.
yeah.
So there's
All right,
another
let's
there's another way to
see.
get there as well.
Let's go down to Stevens.
It's on the way to Stevens.
Oh,
Yes,
here we
that's
go.
right. It's on the
There
way
we
to
go.
Stevens.
We're standing
there-
down here and seeing
Yeah.
all the way up the
Yep.
fucking road. There's no way. So let's see.
It's right past his fence. If that's where it's at. It's right where that other car
It
is.
is. Yeah, it is. It's like skip forward.
It's like the first place you can that nobody would see. Oh, you think it's right in between there? It's right between that, the fence.
Right here.
It's in between the fence and that the wheat trailer.
Yeah, dirty white country boy. I think that Pam said that she got every shower jar little 410. They walked in, didn't see anybody. Walked out. Earl was talking to somebody in the parking lot, and by the time she talked to him for a few minutes, it was a little after 10, and they called. Well, the first call she 10:20.
Oh,
The first call went to voicemail. The second call, she called dispatch because he wasn't picking up and got connected that way. And she got put right through. That's another thing. Not one other call that I can recall, not one of the thousands of calls did anyone get put straight through to the sheriff or Weird. Not one.
Yeah, I think they didn't. I say that they didn't count on her being able to get there, to get on the property. And if she did,
got there early.
Well, no. I firmly believe that they like, hey, we'll throw this Hail Mary in here to see if she can get on there, but she can't. That's the reason why the bones are everywhere they're at, and then they kept the plates. It's insurance. It's insurance.
I think about the change of plans call too.
me too.
The change of plans call is another mind bender.
Mm-hmm.
They need to go over and talk to Zipper again. Well, he's not going to be happy. No shit. And then we got to go over and talk to Avery, interview Avery again. That was Saturday. That was that morning.
Yeah.
And then this arrival of Poggle being there, going personally to test the fax machine at Teresa's house.
Well, somebody has said they've never seen him personally get that involved in any case before.
Right.
Most sheriffs don't unless it's high profile case.
Yeah, most sheriffs won't. They don't get involved.
Yeah. Right.
If it's something they get their face on TV, they'll be a part of it. But I've never. So if it's something like Sheriff, I can think of several times that he come in and he command the crime scene of what was there, and I remember one time I let a state trooper through. Well, I didn't really let a state trooper. I was told to block a road off, and I blocked the road off. I had my blue lights on, and I was just told to not let anybody through. Well, I had this. It was a murder, and this has been like 20 years ago. A state trooper. This is 2 hours after everything had already been. The sheriff's there. Sheriffs took over the scene in our city. And this state trooper comes by me. I mean, he didn't check up. Like, he come around the corner, skidding around the corner, and just flying past me. And I was like, "What?" And so next thing I know,
he wasn't gonna log in or anything.
Oh no, I was way out. I was in the perimeter. It was the road going to where the crime scene was already taped off. Oh no, it was barricaded. It was barricaded subject. That's what it was. Because he came and lit everybody up that was behind there, and sheriff was there. And I got blessed out over the radio. It was like, who let him through? And he told him where he could go. He told that state trooper where he could go and how fast he'd get there and what direction he could go to get there. And he took his little tail in and came back through. But I got blessed out in the radio. But I'm like, what am I going to do? We'll jump in front of the car? Like,
Oh, hell no.
You know, I'm like, what? You know, but you know, it was high publicity. The sheriff tried to talk him out, and the guy committed suicide. Killed the dog and himself.
Oh my God. Yeah, I like my job and I like working here, but I don't like well enough standing in front of a car that's rolling.
Yeah, I'm good. And state trooper, and I'm good because he'd run over me. So yeah, to me, it was another law enforcement. I mean, I didn't know he was coming there. I mean, like, you know, he's coming in hot and heavy, like he's delivering the mail or something. I don't know. So he said, I said nobody. I don't care who. I don't care if it's Jesus. I mean, he's yelling at me over the radio. I don't care if it's Jesus coming in. You don't let anybody through there.
Yeah, but then I'm taking my car and I'm blocking the road. I'm not standing in front of a car.
Oh, it was a big road. Like it was like a.
Oh.
It was a, and I had the road blocked, but he went around like I could only block. It was wide enough that you could probably fit 4 cars long ways
side by side.
It was the entryway. It went back to a little subdivision, but it was the entryway for the industrial section. So it was 4 big semis that can come in. Gotcha. So I mean, you could have made a 4-lane highway out of that. So I mean, I blocked off the part that, you know, people would come in, but he just went around the whole car around the front. I'm like, okay, whatever.
You just kept going.
Yeah, just kept going. But I mean, so what they had done is they had set up lights, and they were behind trying to negotiate with this guy. The guy had shot another guy. And I can't remember how the scenario. I don't know if he killed the guy. I know he shot a guy and he barricaded himself in there. Well, they had spotlights up, and the sheriff's talking on a bullhorn. Because I could hear him way down where I was at, and the sheriff's talking on a bullhorn, and this trooper comes up behind. So the road, how the road went, the road came to like this, and then it teed off, and that house was right in the tee. Well, he came up, and he had his lights, and he shined his lights right on the sheriff and all the other snipers and everything else that were set up right there. So he lit them up because they were behind the lights. I still don't think the guy could have seen anything because they had these big spotlights. Yeah. But that was the same sheriff that got arrested. So couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Well, you know, thinking about the whole, after that, you know, it was decided that within a very short amount of time, if you guys think about it, that Calumet would be taking the case for a good reason. Manitowoc literally should have been at least escorted back off the salvage yard, even if it's to the command center. At that point, like, and call in another department, even if you had to go to federal.
Yeah, and they could have called in the feds at that point because they
were there.
Yeah, they could have. And why that case wasn't thrown out because of that, I have no earthly clue. Like it just doesn't make sense at all. But that's where corruption comes in. I'm
a firm believer that Avery was going to be jailed. The depositions were going to end. End of story. Something was going to happen. I'm convinced of that.
Because, you know, like they said before, like, you know, their pensions were riding on this probably. I don't know what kind of pensions they had or if it was state or whatever. But, you know, you had my big thing was these sheriffs that were still kind of in power that had retired but still had their cronies that they promoted up to where they're at and kind of helped get both of, from what I've looked at both of them, Calumet and
Manitowoc.
Because look who became the next Calumet sheriff.
Oh, Wiegert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Wiegert eventually became.
Sheriff. Yeah, it's a Calumet. Yeah, well, yeah. And who didn't appear in Convicting and Murder?
Yeah, Wiegert or Link. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Link's
I heard Link's in pretty bad health.
Is he dead?
I thought
he's not dead, but I heard his health is not too great. Didn't you hear that too, Allie?
Yes, yeah.
Well, that'd be a great time for a
somebody said he died. I didn't hear that either, but
no, I haven't heard that.
I heard that he died, but I didn't know that. So I figured maybe that would have happened while I was AFK for 4 years.
Well, you know why didn't Wiegert run again? He's only 54 and he runs, or 55. He could have.
It
He could
probably
probably
has.
won. He
It probably had
could've
something to
won.
do with his pension. Like here, your time carries over. So if he had enough time to retire to get his retirement, I think probably. I know I wouldn't if the heat's still on me. You got convicting a murderer coming out, making a murderer. When did he quit being sheriff?
Well, and there's people coming up there, and I mean, Becca always goes up to the sheriff's office in Calumet.
Harass
Yeah, I
him.
mean, you got
harass
to
him.
have you got everybody asking for 4-year requests. I mean, you got hundreds of people asking for 4
Yeah.
requests.
Raise
So I
his
mean,
hand.
listen,
Raise his
yeah.
hand.
So I mean, get out while the getting's good. I mean, what do you have to lose? You have everything to lose while you're in office, and you really have nothing to lose if you have less to lose when you're out of office.
I
Because
think he had. I think he had 29 years. I think that's right.
yeah, he had enough room then to retire then.
Maybe 29 and a half.
So-
So maybe he
and
just said.
so
maybe
how
he
it
just said,
goes-
maybe he just said, "I'm done. I'm out."
Yeah, how it goes here is your top 3 years of pay is what your retirement it goes off of is your top 3 years.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
if it's the same,
I didn't figure he got 100%, but I'm guessing, probably 80, 90%, whatever he contracted for, or whatever the county contract
yeah,
is.
yeah. So he got so I mean, there's no advantage. Plus, you got everybody. What year was his last year?
My mind just went blank. The other sheriff took over at the beginning of this year.
Okay. Well, I mean, you got Cam coming out. You had, I mean, you got more people looking into it. They had been on Netflix, and it's not dying. So, why
stay?
why stay when you don't have to? Here's a question I got for you, Jax. So, and I'm probably more leaning on the political arena, and this is not politics. I'm just telling you my stance.
Right.
Probably more on the conservative side. So, not a huge fan of what's her name from
Candace.
Cam. Yeah, Candace. But how did they rope her into the because they had already made this document. This documentary was 4 years old? How old was this?
Well, actually probably started filming in early 2018 when this.
Yeah, but I mean, he had he been shopping it around to places to try to see.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sure. Well, you
had to
think back, and I don't know how much you were involved. I was when Sean Rick started advertising this way back in 2018. It was going to be this balanced story telling both sides, and
I remember seeing some stuff on that. But I mean,
maybe that was his real intention.
I believe it was in the beginning.
And then, of course, Kratz is heavily involved.
Brenda comes in.
Got Andy Hale. And then, of course, Brenda was there as a researcher. I think she got hired right away to do that. And then this thing starts getting twisted and turned. And, I think that if it had followed Sean's probably original vision, it would have fared much better. But then COVID happened.
Yeah.
Because literally they said that Convicting Murder would be released fall of 2019.
Who was releasing it? Who picked it up? Do you know who picked it up?
The Daily Wire. Eventually, that was.
No. I mean, but who had picked it up that was going to release it in 2000, or was he just doing it on his own?
No, I don't think he's doing it on his own. I just think that what he's saying, it would be ready to be picked up by the fall of 2019, and of course that didn't happen. They weren't nowhere done because you have to also understand there's another element to this that is somewhat entangled in Cam, but it's not nearly as much as what really went on. Is the lawsuit with Colburn, and I think I think they expected him to win that lawsuit. And I was thinking to myself way back then, there's no way that he's going to win. I mean, I knew about the edits in 2016. I knew about them. I didn't like it, but
right.
I mean, anybody would tell you. And in fact, I told somebody the other day, and I was actually one of my officers. I was talking about this, and I was like, I'm like, hey, what's the longest you've ever gone without writing a report? And he said, like a couple days. And I'm like,
Right.
he's like, why? I'm like, so would you think like a couple months off of he's like, well, I mean, I wrote some stuff later on. I'm like, no, bro. We're talking about a murder. What? I said, we're talking about writing stuff like finish up making reports like months after
8
It's
months or something.
we're done.
Yeah, it's
He's like,
unacceptable.
can you even you can't legally do that? I was like, I didn't think you could either, but here we are. So, yeah, I agree. But here's my thing is
Good night, T1.
I don't like she wasn't even part of the it was just kind of like they edited her into the video.
Well, yeah.
The
What
video-
happened? What happened was that the documentary was finished. It was done, and he
Yeah,
began.
it was done.
So he began shopping it around, and of course, we don't have any clue as to who all viewed it, and maybe even potentially made a bid. But then it got sold to the Daily Wire, agreed to pick it up. So this was February or March this year, and of course, Candace Owens, and I hope I'm not offending too many people, but I don't like her.
I'm like I said,
I don't care if she's conservative or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't
Yeah.
like the way she presents things. It's her
Yeah.
attitude. It's all about her. She's
Yep.
narcissistic to me.
Yep.
Yeah,
I could.
gratitude
So
either.
I have always said, if you can make something make sense to me, I'll go like with what Allie was saying today, with the day planner. Like she had to concede to somebody that, hey, it's plausible.
Sure.
I listen. If you came out with concrete evidence that Stephen did it, I'm with you. I don't think anybody who is a
Mhm.
who is
An
a
actual truther.
who a truther is truly just like would ignore factual information if somebody brought it.
Right.
There's just too many red flags. I but that's what I don't understand is like, I can admit when I'm wrong, and it's just, like I said, I'm the conservative side of things, and I never liked her either. But it was just, to me, it was kind of funny. It was like, you are just dogmatic into this, that he is like, and I get it, because they got 2 months of subscriptions out of it, dragged it out, and
Right.
they got. I mean, you had people that were probably very liberal that paid to see it because they were, so they got people that would never subscribe to the Daily Wire, just got 2 months out of them for free, or paid so I get it, but I was like, I just don't understand how,
Well,
kind of,
they promoted this as her documentary. There are people out there today, to this very day, that believe she was part of making that documentary because of how they dropped her in.
oh yeah, no, she was just last minute, like, here.
Yep. But
You know-
she truly knows. I found out right away she knows nothing about the case. She
Oh, no.
she knows
When
what
they-
they told her.
When they left the edit in there, like, when I first heard it, I was like, the second murder, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like-
That was her first clip. And then Sean
Yeah.
argued with me on Twitter. He's like, "Oh well, she'd been up for like 36 hours, blah blah blah."
Well,
I'm
bro,
like,
it's
and
an
thi- and
edit.
Right. And this got by you. You know that wasn't a murder in 1985.
Yeah.
He wouldn't
Like, I
answer
mean,
me for it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but so case in point, I think it was just not picked up by anybody. As far as case in point, my buddy's amateur filmmaker, and
Yeah.
he did a film documentary. It was picked up, I think, by Amazon or something. I think at one time, but anyway, I got to preview it. I got to preview it before all the
Sure.
the Foley and stuff was in, and so I knew about it, but I hadn't seen any parts of it, and so he wanted a fresh set of eyes on it, and so we screened it, and he said, like, so the director was there and the editor was there, and they said, don't stop, like, here's a piece of paper and a pen, don't stop, don't ask questions during the film, write it down, we'll address everything there. Well, the director, it was even to the point where the director was like, hey, we may do something a little differently right here, but let me tell you to set up the scenario so you get a little, because the music from this would tell you, the cut that we're going to do is going to, so he'd do that kind of stuff. But when I noticed they made a big deal about the power going out, and they go eat and come back, and they have the garage door opens as they're driving in. And I was like,
Okay.
And then he goes and lights like an old kerosene, campfire thing. And I was like, after getting done, I was like, question, we trying to make a big deal. He had a little PSD episode, about the power being cut off. They cut it off on a Friday and couldn't do it over the weekend. They made a big, it was a big deal about the power being out.
Right.
I said, so we're making yeah. I said, so where'd the power come from the garage door? And you should have seen the look on the editor's and the director's face. Both of them went, you have got to be kidding me. Like, how did we, like, that is so, he goes, this is exactly why we have other people screen it, because he said that editor looked at me, he goes, you know how many times I've looked at that? He said, I've looked at that literally 100 times. He said, never once crossed my mind at all. It's something, he goes, now I feel like an idiot. And so I think that's probably what they didn't have. They just took her at her word on stuff and really didn't edit her part out as far as fact check her stuff. So,
well, as I understood it, because Foul Play did 4 interviews with them, basically what I understood was that Brenda was going to be the main narrator between cuts and so forth and so on. And she did do some.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they had to remove, several of her cuts to fit Candace in. And but like I said, I knew when that first clip hit back last May, and she said the 1985 case was about a murder. And I also think, you guys can beat me with a stick if you like, but I almost think they did it on purpose to see how far they could rile the truther side up, do it to create drama.
And you may be right. I
don't know. I can't prove
it's just so actually I was talking about my officer that I was he was asking me about. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, so I gave him the link that we can watch all the cams on. I said, actually watch the cam first, and then go watch Ma'am. And he goes, isn't that backwards? I'm like, yeah, it's backwards. I was like, so I said, making a murder is where nobody disagrees. It is slanted towards Stephen. But I said, if you watch Convicting a Murderer first, and you'll have your eyes open, and then of everything that you think, you're slanted more the other direction. And then when you watch Ma'am, you're like, wait, how does that? Wait, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like that, how'd they come to that conclusion from Cam? So anybody
what was their final thoughts on that?
Oh, he's still watching it. He's still watching. He's still watching. Yeah, it was last week that I told him, and he's like, what? He's like, this is crazy. He's like, how did they? I'm like, just that now you have to watch. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want questions till you've watched all of Ma'am. Don't watch Cam and then watch Ma'am 1 and then start asking me questions. Watch Ma'am 2, because evidently Cam never watched Ma'am 2. Like, I don't understand.
No, they only included just the smallest tidbit of information.
And there was some stuff that was addressed that if I remember right, there was some stuff that was addressed that was debunked what they said in Cam in Ma'am 2. That's the other reason why I thought that it had been made kind of right around the time that Ma'am 2 was being made. Am I right?
Well, Ma'am 2 it in I think it was September of 2018, which would have been around the time that Cam was starting to film. So by the time they finished it, though, they would have certainly have known a lot more, especially from Casey's experts, than that they could have included. There's other information that they knew too that they could have included too, and not shown it, or if they had shown all of it. There's edits in Cam too. So but that was what I thought that was funny myself. I was like, pot calling the kettle black. Like, bro, you were just blatantly like, if you know the factual information, like I've watched the video, like the actual. We're even talking about
Calumet and Manitowoc's version, like that just even goes against what you just said. So I know that here's when I got involved in making a murder is during COVID. And I don't think they realized that it would be the blow up that it was during COVID.
Oh yeah,
That's when I watched it.
a
So
lot of people did that never watched it in late 2015, which I did. I've been at it a long time, and a lot of people watched it for the first time, and ma'am too as well.
yeah, so
Mhm.
I binge watched the whole
The whole thing.
the whole 1 and 2. So, and what got me involved is just from the law enforcement standpoint was like, how did that that's not how what's that thing? That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Like, I'm
Right.
like, where is the? I'm like, what? And this is somebody from Alabama saying this. I'm like, we're in, Betty White, Mississippi is going on here. I don't,
Betty White.
Right.
I was like,
You've entered the twilight zone.
yeah, I'm like, I'm like, do you know how fast I'd be in jail? Like, and how fast this get thrown out of court here? Like, I
Right.
mean, and everybody makes fun of Alabama. Like, to me, that just fascinated me more on the part of how they got away with the stuff they got away with on the judicial side of it. Than the
Well,
stuff
that's another part of the whole thing. With Kratz being the local special prosecutor, but the real power was Fallon. He's directly from the AG's office. So, and
who was it? Alan, was it you that told me that there was a connection between Ryan's dad and the AG?
The AG's office.
Yeah. There was something that
It was somebody.
he
I don't
he
remember.
was, because he was let out. He was let out of a case got dropped for a lawsuit for his banking.
Yeah,
banking thing, and
there was some banking problems and he was a bank president or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember the entire story.
But there was connection there. Like he had connection there to the AG's office, and I think that's the for whatever reason. So,
Yeah, if I did,
I'm a J6er.
What's that, Alan?
What's a J6er?
if I told him that, I don't remember. I know I told you something, but I don't remember what the hell it was now.
I looked it up because
I don't know what a J6er is.
I don't either.
I'm a J6er, so
Well,
I know how fucking corrupt Elliot is.
I could be, speaking of Ryan, I mean, to me, he's been my number one suspect ever since I found out how many times he lied.
January 6th. God, gotcha.
What does that mean?
That's the insurrection.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Okay. January 6th. Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't. Okay. I don't know what that means.
January 6th, 2023, when the
no, was it 20? It was
2020, 2021.
2020. I was just say, wait,
21.
Yeah, January 6th, 2021.
Like I saw what happened, but I don't know what that means.
So
That means that
basically the Capitol Police let everybody in, and now everybody's getting arrested because they stormed the Capitol.
During the confirmation. Of
Wait, they let everybody in. I thought they.
Though there's stuff where they're actually giving tours. The Capitol Police is giving tours to the guy who got charged with the big bullhorn thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're taking him around, showing him places, and he's not doing anything. He's just like, hey, cool.
If he's
I'm
not doing anything, that's okay, right?
Yeah.
But
yep. And
I don't get it. That doesn't make sense to me. If they're letting people in, but that guy was outside storming that shit. I saw him. Right?
No, he got let in.
Oh, okay.
He got let in. He was out there. He was making a big deal out there in the thing there, but he got let in. Like, he didn't storm anything because there was Capitol Police walking him around. There's video of him walking around.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I could have sworn I saw him outside.
Yeah, there was.
He was raising hell outside.
Yeah, he was
right. So how'd that happen?
There's a lot of FBI. There was FBI agents that were in the crowd that were trying to insurrect, get him to start, you know. So,
Okay, I don't even want to. Let's not talk about.
that's a bunch of politics stuff.
That's,
So,
yeah, I hate politics. So yeah,
But yeah, that shows you how far, whatever side you believe, if you believe one side or the other, whatever. But
yeah,
you know,
that's
in
bound to start a damn fight, and I don't even want to go.
well,
there.
it's
I hate
corruption, whether good or bad, leads the world as far as that's it's the person usually in wars, the person who plays the dirtiest wins. So,
You know, my youngest son is 22, and we were talking the other day, and he said, "What do you know about Epstein?" I'm like, Jeffrey Epstein.
little as possible.
And I said, well, I said he's probably got video on every rich person and anyone that could
Oh yeah,
get him out of trouble from here to hell and back. And that Maxine Giswell or whatever, I'm sure
Yeah.
she's got that shit locked away somewhere.
oh I'm sure. Yeah, that's the reason.
I mean, that island, I'm sure every room was wired and cameraed. I'm sure of it.
had to been like you have a reason to be, that's just
Well, I mean, you were talking about corruption. I mean, that guy, God, I mean, the crap that guy got away with is unreal. You ever read about him, Allie Epstein?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm not going to get off into it. That's another whole
no, but it proves the point of
corruption.
how corruption gets. It's you have
Yep.
somebody on something else, and
Yep.
hey, either you're in on the thing there, or they have something on you, and you're going to go along with this, and then you get drugged down the rabbit hole. So
Yeah, you're screwed. You're kind of screwed either way, right?
Travis is either talking about me or talking about.
Well, I hope not, because
White,
that would be awfully rude. But still,
dirty white boy, one of the two. But I mean,
look. Let me just say this one time, please, Travis and everybody. I don't want any more of that talk here, like the politics, because it just starts fights. Let's go back to the case because
that's my
Yeah.
bad on it.
it's okay.
That's why we
okay.
don't allow
Well,
it on foul play at all.
Yeah, still, if he's talking about you, dirty white, but it doesn't matter who. I just really don't want any arguing, especially over politics, because I fucking hate politics.
Yeah, we got plenty
And
to argue
I
about.
hate
We got plenty of debating to do on the
Yeah.
case.
Let's talk about the case.
Random. That's what I've always said is corruption breeds corruption, and
that's
once
it.
you go down that rabbit hole, it's you're sucked in.
What somebody had a question a little bit ago, had it highlighted forever, and I want to find that again. I think it was Sapper Cop, but hold on.
Did you put it in your starred? Highlighted?
No, I didn't star it, but I had it highlighted forever, and then I just let it go. Oh, here we go. If it was based off the flyover video, how did somebody know where to plant the car? If it was based off the flyover video, then who had the car? If it was Ryan, how did LE find out he had it? I think that was to you, Jeremy.
So this is my theory. This is my theory is one or two things that happened. I think Ryan did it. I think she made it home. I think this is how I think played out. Just from what this is just my making it make sense. So some of this is just me thinking it out loud. I think she made it home, or Ryan was stalking her on her way wherever she was at, but I think she made it home, and I think a fight ensued. Whether or not he accidentally killed her, pushed her and she hit her head against something. I think that it was the murder. So she got put in the back of the RAV4. I think he had the panic, oh shit moment, what do I do? Called his dad. His dad's connected, from what I gather. This is my thoughts on it, and I think that Wiegert got involved because the connection there. One thing about corrupt people is they hang around other corrupt people. So if you're corrupt, you know who the other corrupt players are. So I think that because this makes sense to me. I think that he went to Wiegert and said, "Hey, listen, my son got in a fight and I don't know what happened, but she fell and she's dead, and I don't know what to do." And from there, I think it just went from there to, well, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do to help him. Let's see how we can, and then tracing the steps backwards, finding out, I think, because why else was, it makes sense with Ryan dropping calls to Wiegert, telling him where to go. And it played into that, where I think they found out that it was Avery was a stop at some point. And that's because it makes absolutely no sense. Like basic 101, like of any kind of law enforcement. I don't care who you are, what you do. The dispatcher will tell you this. Like, you look at the first person you look at is the lover, the ex-boyfriend, whoever had the intimate relationship with them.
Yeah, the inner circle.
And I like, he better have like 4 or 5 credible alibis from 15 different places to even come off that list. He stays on that list. I mean, he's not involved in it. So it's just very odd to me that right off the bat, he's not even considered a suspect. No, he's helping everything. So that tells me that I think Wiegert knew about it. And I think that, whether he killed her on purpose or whether it was by accident, people push people, and, somebody, I could see that somebody fall back and she hit her head on something bleeding. And so he panics and puts her in the back of the RAV, which would explain the splashing on the, and so Uyghur's got to figure out, Uyghur, he sits on it for a day, calls his dad the next day and said, "Hey, listen, I've screwed up. I don't know what to do. Like, help. I don't know what to do. Like, Teresa died. I don't know what happened, so at this point
sorry, I just thought of something terrible. Go ahead. Sorry.
If you take all the emotions out of it, and guys can compartmentalize more than women per se. At this point, Teresa's already dead, so you're not going to bring her back. So at this point, do you help your buddy, the guy son that didn't do anything, and then come to find out, then he's in. Last person you saw was this piece of crap that suing Manitowoc, and Manitowoc's got all kinds of problems because of this guy. Well, there's our scapegoat right there. He's out in the clear. Listen, we pinned this on this other guy. He deserves to be in jail anyway. Like, he's a piece of shit. Like, nobody cares. So we'll pin it on him. So I that's what I believe happened. Either that he killed her, and then the Cuss Road comes into play at some point, and I don't know if that's where they originally took her body, and then, or if Ryan may have possibly confronted her on Cuss Road, got behind her, flashed her, and argument ensued, and same thing. That's where she got killed at. I don't, that part I don't know, but I firmly believe that, and that would make sense of why, the bodies, the dogs are hitting on it. And, I think they have to find the body that's there. He may have left the body there and threw it and put it over there and said, the body's over here. I didn't know what to do with it. Try to put it in the back of the car, and then realize that was a dumb option. And I might as well just put her in the woods back here. There's a million scenarios that could have happened there, but that's my take. I think Ryan did it. Ryan played it off as something that he accidentally happened, and Wiegert found the avenue of, helping his, his buddy's son get out of this jam that he's in, because he didn't do it. He didn't mean to do it. She fell, or whatever reason.
The boss has got something they want him to do. Wiegert. I mean,
well, think about you were listening to the call today too, Allie, with Karen Hallbach. We played it earlier tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott said the last Teresa was on Monday.
Exactly. The
But-
only way that could have happened is if she made it home.
But he told the
That's it.
police the last time he saw her was on Sunday.
Exactly.
So
So
what's up with that?
nobody cares about them changing their stories. They're
No.
worried about Steven changing his story all the time.
Sapper Cop, when you say that what's highlighted here,
Yeah.
that's why I firmly think that he sat on Ryan sat on the car. Ryan, it would make sense because I would think that, and again, you go back to the forensics part of it, of a body decomposing, losing blood. I don't think there was enough blood in the vehicle to justify somebody being in there for a couple of days, maybe just be transported in or set in. That maybe where Cuss Road, if Cuss Road comes into play, I think that he stopped her at Cuss Road and would have put her in the back of the car and then realized or transported enough to transport her into the woods and then take her back out and put her back there. And then they, somehow, that I think that makes sense.
I just thought of something while you were talking a minute ago, and this kind of sucks. But whoever killed her, if it's not Steven, would have to know that Steven was the last stop. Because if Zipperer was the last stop, and if they had some kind of time stamped call or a time stamped or a receipt or something like that, or
voicemail,
phone call,
from Teresa says,
voice.
I can't find your place. I'll be back. I got another appointment and I'll drop back by.
Yeah. So whoever killed her has to know that Stevens was the last place. Otherwise, if they frame in Steven, and
that's what that's why I say that you can make when you're the puppet master, you can make things happen. So
somebody was making it happen before anybody even found the car. You know what I mean?
But
somebody was already.
Somebody had. That's what I'm saying. I think when they realized that Steven was involved in any facet of the
murder,
any facet of the route that he's involved in any form, I can make it work. I could because I could say that he was definitely her last stop, and when you're controlling the strings, you can make it work.
Oh, sure. So if you get Joellen to go and lie on the stand.
Get who?
Joelle
Zipperer's wife.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I just think it was happenstance that it happened to be the last stop. I just think it's that's.
I'm saying somebody had to know that it was for sure.
Well, you have somebody like Don Pliska,
like you said,
that gets on the stand and says, "Oh well, Teresa called me. Well, actually, Teresa and I talked, and she said she was on her way to the Avery brothers." We don't know that. That's hearsay.
Yeah.
For all I know, she said.
Yeah, what she said. That's right.
And that's the problem. So again, I keep going back to make it make sense.
Well, okay, so if
what I was saying with let me say this because I'll forget it. I've meant to say this before.
Yeah.
But usually a crime of mutilating a body or that may have been to the degree of law enforcement after or whoever. But to do that is usually a crime of passion. Like you typically, if somebody stabbed 31 times, it's a crime of passion or somebody owed him money. It wasn't just a robbery. And then we get stabbed 37 times. It's, somebody pretty well connected to him. So to mutilate a body and to burn a body makes no sense for somebody who is supposedly that raped Teresa. And, that was the motive that, the Kratz said because he was, deprived because Jody was in jail and whatever his theory was. But, typically something like that where you mutilate a body. And that's why I have a problem with Bobby too. Like Bobby being it because there's no, crime of to me that's a crime of passion. And again, I know that could have been where law enforcement may have cremated the body and nothing was ever done to it besides the cremation part of it. I don't know, but their theory makes no sense at all to somebody in normal realms. Does it happen? Sure, but typically it's a serial killer or a or a crime of passion to have something like that.
And neither
Jennifer,
Scott nor Bobby were treated as a suspect.
Do what?
One of them. Neither Scott or Ryan were treated as a suspect.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's why it has me thinking. That's why I've always thought too that I think that Kathleen Zellner still thinks that he's that, but I think that's the reason why her emotions and stuff went nowhere, because they're still connected. And they have to make. She has to make somebody the scapegoat that it possibly could be.
Well, she's following the only path that the Court of Appeals gave her. That's all they gave her on her last appeal. So she's following the path that they gave her.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to make it. I think she took that route of. I think she realized real quick that she was going to get anywhere saying that Ryan was the murderer. Whether she thinks that or not, that can be that's later on. All she has to do is to get somebody else.
She needs a hearing. She needs a hearing. That's what she needs.
Yeah. Just like
I think she still will use Ryan, but I think she's going to focus on Bobby mainly.
Yeah, exactly. To get to then once you get the hearing, because you can't have people. So these people are going to bat for people that to make this in the legal realm. Unfortunately, when you make a decision, I don't understand how we can have 6 people make a decision and be swayed by false information to be reversed. So to go through so much because that's now law. That's now, we can't go back and retry the case because this is what everybody decided. And we had a great lawyer who, sprinkled fairy dust everywhere and wowed the jury, and had a horrible, whichever direction you have, I think it's whoever you have the best lawyer for. So that's what I think, that I have a hard time in our judicial system of getting that, where to undo something that's been done, you have to jump through some same exact thing of what we were talking about with corruption, Jack, about it's easy to make something happen, but to prove corruption, you have to have 45, videos of them in the act, and this, you have to prove so much, and there's one thing gets them off. So
right,
it's the same thing. Jennifer, I'm asking you real quick. Why would you think so? You think Ryan killed her? Can't prove it. So my question is,
that's what I was saying earlier.
You said why? How would law enforcement? Why and how would law enforcement force Bobby to put the RAV on the property? I mean, what make it make sense to me?
Okay, I'll try to answer while they're answering, because I was just saying that a little bit ago, that I've always leaned more towards Ryan being the one that planted the car, and I still do, mainly 100%, because of all the things that we all know, the drop calls and blah blah blah, right? But if I was going to insert Bobby into it, I would be the cops doing what they've done with literally everybody else.
Pressure.
In every family. What's that?
Pressure. Scared the shit out of him.
Yes. Threatening him, threatening to do whatever the hell, to his mom. God knows
Allie, to interrupt your story just briefly, they could have said, "Hey, you were here too when Teresa was here, right?"
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm trying to make it make sense.
Sure.
I'm sure that one of their threats was probably something like, Well, Steven's trying to point his finger at you, and they've already
Sure.
told him that, right? To get him to turn on Steven to begin with.
Yep.
And, we're not going to ignore it, unless you do this for us or whatever. So they get him to do it because he knows the property, whatever. They might get him to go and supposed to be collecting some kind of DNA. They send him to the bathroom, which is, where I think anybody would go if they're trying to collect DNA. Go to the bathroom, grab something, and he sees blood. He grabs, he's like, there's a bunch of blood in here. And so he grabs the blood, plants the blood. They know it. They have to know. Somebody knows what happened. That's what I'm saying. If it's not Steven, somebody knows.
That's another piece of the puzzle that
I think the cops know.
that at what point is people not in power that you're going to go that your lie is going to come out? Like,
Right.
That's why I think if Ryan, you can't have too many people in the house of cards because the house of cards is going to fall.
Yeah, I like that idea though. What you just said, that bringing an extra person for no real good reason.
Why bring him into the picture?
Mhm.
There's headlights that people saw. You could have brought it in because the logical thing, if Bobby or Steven or anybody is involved, where the last place that they want that rev for is on the property. Like, you know how easy it would have been just to drive and just keep on driving? Like, keep on. Hey, listen, I ended up in Green Bay. I'm, was with a buddy and I need somebody to come pick me up. Okay, cool. Nobody's going to say anything about it. It's in the middle of downtown Green Bay. Just,
Right.
Listen, that's
no big deal.
Yeah. So why the last place that I would want, where you don't want the murder weapon at? In your house. You don't want plates at? On your property. Where you don't want the car at? On your property. So, the same thing with the burn barrel and the like, it doesn't make sense. If you would have burned that, why do you have bones in different places? And I think that's the only thing that makes sense to me is I just think that they couldn't get they didn't know, they were trying to hedge their bets. And
I believe that. Yeah.
The bones were found in 4 different places.
Yeah. And so all they have to do is hit one.
Well,
all you have to do is hit one, and then that gives you probable cause to go up on the berm. 5
places.
Yeah.
In 5 places. There's 3 in the quarry, 1 in
Mitchell's materials.
Yep.
3 piles in the quarry and burn.
Let me tell you a little bit about search and rescue dogs. Okay. And I do know this, especially being in a rural more environment, you don't know what you're going to get. Like, you could get the cream of the crop in, or you could get most of these guys are volunteer stuff.
But Jeremy, do live scent dogs smell dead people's skin flying up off the fire and landing?
But what I'm saying is they don't know.
Kidding. I'm totally.
They don't know who's going to show up. They don't know if it's going to be the C team, the volunteer squad that's coming. Literally, like, we got a beagle that we trained. We watch YouTube videos and we're on the rescue squad and we're bringing them out. So we've got to hedge our bets and all they have to do, if they can get that car on the property before the Dassies realize that, the Averys find out that car is on the property, is that they're fighting. Not only they can't leave that car there forever. One of the Averys is going to see that car and go, "Why is that car here?"
Right.
So
that belongs out front. That belongs out front, not down here.
Exactly.
Why? And they had, they knew that's what they were looking for, was that car. So, they're fighting the time against. So they're hedging their bets. I feel like they're putting whether it be traces or a dead body parts, whatever, either mixing up her DNA and gravel and putting it out there, whatever. I think they hedge their bets because all they have to do is, it's all about probable cause, because you can't get on the property without probable cause. So case in point, like today, like what they did before, flying over the property, is now illegal to do. So I'm our drone pilot, and so legality wise,
Wait,
when
you
drone
can't fly it. I can see how you can't fly a drone, but you say you can't fly a plane over the
for
property looking.
not looking for evidence. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, it gets thrown out of court.
Not even a car?
I
No.
thought they
No.
could go up to 1,000 feet.
Well,
Not-
It,
or
it
not more
was
than that.
it was at one time, but when drones came in to play,
that's
you have to have
they-
probable cause. So, like for example,
because they're in the.
it used to be back then. It was fine. You could do
So
that
they-
back then.
so
Are
they
you
changed it.
sure? Because they cut that fucking video out of hell. So
Well, they cut it because the car wasn't there. Or
I think
I think the car wasn't there.
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
you have to cut the film because the car's not there.
Right.
In their theory, where's the car in between where that's at and where he killed her? Where's the car been this whole time? That
Right. And Ken Kratz says it was on the
Exactly.
property.
They're not going to show
Yeah.
that part.
So you can't have that. You can't have your
Of
cake and eat it too.
course.
So now my detective
Oh, there you go. Lawyer. There you go.
the for search warrant premises you can't now to obtain a search. So I can't. So like for my drone, I can't fly over an area that is not visible from the roadway. Now I can, and it's very gray. Like I can be flying somewhere and looking for something else and see something else, and in my discovery of that can do that. But now you have to go get a search warrant.
Yeah.
Like my detective the other day, this was probably about 2 years ago, called me to come fly for him he was looking for a mule, and I'm in the backwoods area of hillbilly town, and let's see here. There's different drones. Police must have valid. Yes.
A warrant. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, more extensive exceptions that police may utilize.
Yeah.
It could be a state thing too. Travis is in Texas, but I know he knows like a lot of laws and
yeah,
sure.
and it may be to a certain level as far as height wise go. I was in my last class. Oh, did he drop out?
Yeah, well, he popped on the screen and then he was gone.
We had that it was, and that would make sense because I can only fly 400 feet, so it may be a height restriction on that, Travis.
It's a state by state, but no state has outlawed plane and helicopter surveillance. Okay, that's what I thought because, they use helicopters all the time to look for.
Yeah, they still look for dope and stuff, and there was something I was explaining
for
something.
People who have run from the cops.
Oh yeah, yeah. So let me back up. When you're looking for in the drone arena, when you are looking for something, I can fly anywhere that I can see from the roadway, from a public roadway.
Right.
If it's fenced off, I can't. I have to get a search warrant in order to fly my drone to look behind the fence, to turn around to get a search warrant for the property. So
that makes sense.
So my detective called me and says, "Hey, I need you to fly back. We think this guy's got this mule," and I thought he was talking about a real mule. It was a Kawasaki mule, and it wasn't even that. It's Kubota. But anyway, when he explained to me what he wanted, it was in the woods, and no, it's not. It's not ruled out. You can fly a drone anywhere. It's not in restricted airspace. I teach classes on drones, so I do know that. I'm just talking about just for getting a search warrant is strictly what I'm talking about. But now I can fly anywhere. I can even actually supersede. some things. If it's like matter of life and death, it's FAA is very weird on their stuff with
Mhm.
that. But in the restricted zones. But like if it's looking for somebody, I can look wherever I want. I can fly by, and anybody's behind wherever I need to, looking for somebody.
Good. Yeah.
But I can't get a search. I can't fly somewhere that is hidden that I can't see from a public roadway and get and obtain a search warrant
Oh.
from somebody.
Oh no, he got kicked. I hope I didn't do that, J-Jax. It's almost 3 a.m. Got to get some sleep soon. Thanks for the invite. Oh man.
Yeah, you can. You don't own the air. Random. You don't own the airspace. You don't own any airspace above your
Good night,
property.
J-Jax.
There is a fine line between peeping Tom, and even then, actually, it's here's the stupid part about it. Shooting a drone out of the air carries the same sentence as shooting an aircraft down out of the sky. It's the same. It's stupid. But
Well, I can see why. I mean, you're shooting a
it's
bullet, you know.
Well, it's not that. It's that the FAA has classified it as a aircraft, and so it falls under the aircraft rules.
Yeah.
And so it's a federal, like you'll get federal charges.
Well,
it's like 20 years for shooting down a drone.
Jesus. You don't want those things falling on your head.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually fixing to get one that's it can carry almost 200 pounds payload. It's 10 foot wide.
Oh.
But yeah,
thanks for coming, J-Jax. Man, too bad you just left. That Jennifer just asked a question about that note.
So you talk about laws.
Right.
Yeah. So
Note.
you can get the peeping Tom aspect of it, and then it's a very, very weird thing. Like you have to find the operator and then prove it's very difficult to do, believe it or not. But now you can fly. I can fly over anybody's house now. I can fly anywhere I want to, as long as it's not restricted airspace.
Foul Play live tomorrow again. More Colburn stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central.
Correct.
Yes, be there. They've already got the video up, waiting for the live. So,
yep,
it's going to be more goodness, more Colburn goodness.
And actually, random. What's funny about I just came back from a training class for Homeland Security for the police department in New Mexico. Was that about when was that?
3 weeks,
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and it is very hard to shoot down. It's very hard to shoot down.
I bet.
It's very you could the most popular one is a Phantom, DJI Phantom, and they've actually taken a Phantom in controlled space and shot it with a shotgun at 10 feet, and still didn't bring the drone down. It's crazy.
Does it?
A pistol's not gonna take it down. A rifle's not gonna take it down. You'd have to hit it 3 or 4 different times. So you get this thing zipping around everywhere. It's nearly impossible to shoot them down, which is funny. But
so random says it's only going to get worse. Sweet, I like that. So this might not be the right time. What's up with the note that was found at Zippers then disappeared? Never heard of this before. Well, I can't pull it up for you, but it was. And I feel so bad that I cannot. It's been years, so I don't know where I saw this or heard this or whatever the hell, but I am positive I've seen, not just heard of, but seen this note before. And I feel like I'm going crazy because I don't know how. But yeah, so Teresa left a packet of this piece of paper that had a note on it, basically just giving out the information for AutoTrader, how much the picture is going to cost, the phone number, and all that, blah, 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 if you want to put your car in the AutoTrader magazine. She left a magazine. She left a for sale sign and magazine for sale sign. What was the note, and then what was the other thing?
I don't know. I was actually
Magazine for sale sign. There was 4 things, I think.
I ran back to the house during that time frame, so I was trying to listen, and I didn't see the stuff that was there.
Okay. Well, there. Anyway, it was like a packet of stuff, and they showed it to Joelle and Zipperer on the stand, and I think Dr. Silkman was saying that she identified everything except the note as being something that Teresa left. Supposedly on the table in the backyard where the car was. Not actually on the car, I don't think. I think when Colburn said that she left a note on the car, I think what he meant was she left a note on the car, like about the car, not literally on the car, but she left a note on the car for Zipper. Basically what I believe, the top part has got the information and the note, the handwritten note, and then on the bottom part, I believe, is the part that that the customer fills out if they want to list their car. That's where they fill in the ad, basically, because you can see a dotted line there where it cuts off at the bottom. So I think that's the part that she's supposed to keep, or that you're supposed to give back to her to turn in for the ad. But anyway, that's the note. It was just basically left for Zipper. And as far as disappearing, I don't know if it disappeared, because it was at court, but a lot of people have said that they have not seen that. I thought that I want to say it was Susan, maybe. I thought that someone said that they believe they've heard of this before, but I'm not really sure if she remembered seeing it. So I don't know, but that's what it is. That's what that note was. Ranchers out here will try for spooking horse racing.
How about drones?
Okay, about drones. Okay.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna turn.
Yeah,
too.
Me too. I think I need something to eat finally. I
got to do that too.
Right. I was gonna eat after foul play, but then I was like, well, shit. No, I said I'd go live, and then I have to call Carla. I got no time. But I did have a freaking cheese quesadilla. I just made me one real fast. And
there you go.
And so luckily, while I was waiting for Carla, I had enough time for that. But I'm still freaking starving. I made my dinner at like noon today. Got it ready, got it all cooked and ready to go to throw in the oven. I made stuffed peppers, and they're going to be so.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh my God, they're going to be so good. Yeah, but yeah, so it's been sitting in the fridge all day. I got to throw it in the oven, let it get going.
I've got to. I got to go home and checking. Good Lord, I hadn't checked my messages in forever.
Well, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. That was really cool.
Hey, I think I would definitely do it again.
Oh, yeah.
I had fun.
For sure.
I had fun. I like hearing everybody else's view and seeing what others think. And ideas and questions. Oh, yeah.
Stuffing and hot Italian sausage. Oh man, I can't. Sausage doesn't like me. I like sausage, but it doesn't like me back. My stuffed peppers do have rice, onions, black beans, corn, rotel, and hamburger. All stuffed in a pepper, and then
that sounds amazing.
Bunch of freaking mozzarella cheese over all of it. It's so good. but anyway, I will go live as much as I possibly can now that the date has come around that I have my 25 hours back on Streamlab or StreamYard. So I've got, let's see, I'm at 3 hours now. So I've got 22 hours left to go.
Sweet.
And then I'm going to have to pay for it. But it seems like this works. Like
Yeah, I like this.
apparently OBS just gets disconnected and
Travis,
doesn't work.
I'm going to check and see what our laws are on that.
Okay.
You got me thinking now, and it may be a height restriction now for that. But I remember something going over classes that it wasn't with that. But I'll check in because you got me thinking now
Sweet.
how that is. So
Yeah.
and it may just be for obtaining a search warrant. Part of it, I can't see that being any different on the drone. That's what I was referring to, was just getting the search warrant. Part of it, but it may be you may be able to go 1,000 feet and get out of higher than what a drone could legally go at 400 feet. But you piqued my interest, so I'll check that this week.
Sweet.
And find out. So
awesome. Well,
all right. Well, I will
if
talk
they
to you later.
get, well, yeah. Well, if I'm not back before the 2nd, if anything new is released on the 2nd that's not already gone over in Foul Play, then I'll probably go live and just read through the shit or something. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing New Year's Eve. I know I'm just sitting at home by myself, so I might go live. I might go live just for fun. Who knows? You never know. I never know when I'm going to go live. It's always
True story.
random, but so you got to make sure you got your notification bell
Exactly.
going. Well, thank you. It was great to see you, Travis. It's been a long time. And thank you everybody else in chat for coming, for hanging out. I really appreciate you guys so much. Yeah. All right. And thank you so much, Jeremy.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. And we're out.
All right, cool.